Hey Gatemen fans, welcome to a new series here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Today, we're playing catch. And our first guest is the South Florida Bull himself, utility player for the Wareham Gatemen, Bobby Boza. Bobby, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So on this series, we're going to play catch with your favorite Gatemen. Bobby, so first, what's your favorite memory playing catch?
Oh man, I got to say with my dad when we were younger, just going out to the ball field, warming up, playing catch. Those are the best memories I could think of.
Who's the best throwing partner you've ever had?
Oh, that is a tough one, but I do have to say my dad. He's always beat me in the accuracy games, and downright the best catch partner I've had.
So when it comes time for you to throw, are you a guy at the beginning of the year that likes to find a throwing partner and stick with them, or?
Of course, you got to build that relationship with your throwing partner. It's much more enjoyable when you have a good relationship with your partner.
So tell me about your background, where you're from, how you grew up and got into the sport of baseball, and something about your family too.
Yeah, so I'm from West of Chapel, Florida, just outside of Tampa. Great city, great area. I can't complain, but my family's played a big part in my past. They've always not pushed me to play baseball, but guided me through it. My dad's been my coach, and I really wouldn't have grown up any other way, you know?
How long did your dad coach you for?
We started back when we were just that big, and then all the way up to probably 13, 14. And then he kind of let me on my own course, trusted myself, and then now we're here.
Yeah. So I understand you're a Yankees fan, right?
I am.
So who was the Yankee growing up that you emulated your swing after? Who was your Yankee idol?
Jeter for sure. I was a shortstop growing up, shortstop to this day. He's always been my idol growing up.
So shortstop, first position you played?
Yes, 100%.
So when did you become the jack of all trades, the guy that could play every position?
I think it comes down to athleticism at the end of the day. I mean, I feel like just because growing up playing short is a really athletic position, you got to be able to make the plays. It kind of translates to the other positions.
So what's your favorite position that's not shortstop?
Ooh, I got to go center field. Staying up in the middle of the field, being able to run around after balls, getting to use my arm a little bit. It's fun.
So you've played 6 positions now for Wareham this summer. You played all 3 outfield spots, third base, shortstop, and second. First bad one of the day.
Got you.
Infielder hands. What's the one position out of the remaining ones that you think is most feasible, or the one you'd most like to play?
Well, the one I'd most like to play, pitching, obviously. You can't deny going on the mound, trying to throw as hard as you can, dice up a few hitters. But most realistic, I'd say probably third base. I like being in the hot corner. I like reacting to balls pretty quickly, so that's probably my favorite.
So who's your biggest role model growing up? Your dad?
I would say so. He's been a big part of my life ever since we were little. Growing up playing baseball with him, he's kind of given me all the tools I need and kind of guided me to what I am today.
So you got to be a baseball junkie to be here.
For
It's
sure.
the best amateur league in the country. But outside of baseball, what are you into?
I love fishing. That's kind of been my go-to, like relaxation, getting out in nature. It's always been calming for me, so that's kind of been my go-to.
Have you found any good fishing spots up here yet?
Not yet. I've heard a lot about the Cape Canal, catching a lot of striper, so that's definitely something I got to get into while I'm here.
So baseball is obviously a game that's very mental, a lot of pressure on you, especially here in the Cape League. How do you succeed in the mental battle of the game?
Just simplifying everything. You can't let the downside of baseball get to you. You got to stay level-headed, and there are a lot of hard knocks out here. It's just whether you can get that past you and overcome it, and then start the new day fresh with a new mindset every day, and just go day by day.
So if you wanted to have a professional career that didn't have anything to do with baseball, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. To be honest with you, I really haven't thought of anything outside of baseball that I enjoy doing. I love fishing. I love being outdoors, so I'd have to say something along the lines of being outdoors. But I really can't pinpoint a certain occupation or job that I love doing more than baseball.
So you're a Yankees fan, but if you had to pick a second favorite team?
I would probably go with Atlanta Braves. They're a super fun team to watch, and I just love everything about them. Love the atmosphere, love the ballpark, love the team, love the players on the team. So definitely a close second.
So you talked about idolizing Derek Jeter's game growing up. If you had to pick a player now in the big leagues that you kind of resemble your game after, or you want to play like him, who would it be?
I wouldn't say I have anybody that I resemble, but I love everything about Aaron Judge, how he goes about his business, being the captain in a big city, how he handles himself. So I think Aaron Judge would be the guy to look after.
All right, that's episode 1 of Playing Catch with Bobby Bozer. Bobby, I got to work on my skills a little bit before we get to episode 2, but appreciate you being the first guest here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Strike 3, you're out. The Wareham Gatemen are kings of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back at home tonight after a weird game in Hyannis, the Wareham Gatemen return home to face off against the Brewster Whitecaps. Both of these teams looking for their first win against each other after they tied last Monday. Alongside Aiden Blanc, Jack Hunter here with you on the Gatemen Baseball Network. And Aiden, let's first touch on last night just a bit. 2-2 tie. The game gets postponed because of fog in the 7th inning, something we hadn't seen so far this year.
Yeah, it didn't feel good for anybody, but the good news is there's another game today, and hopefully this will be a little bit looser day because the off day is tomorrow. Everyone can go a little bit longer in the bullpen. Everybody's a little more loose, and knowing that tomorrow we don't have to play, finally get an off day. So I think this should be a very, very good game for Wareham. They did lose a couple of pitchers last night. We'll talk about that as the game goes on, but very much looking forward to seeing Coleman Picard.
It was Wareham's second tie of the year. The first one was when these two teams last faced off against each other at Stony Brook Field last week. Since then, both of these teams have had some interesting stretches. Wareham lost 3 straight games after that game. Brewster lost 4 straight, but both of these teams are starting to find it. Brewster winning their last 2 and Wareham tying last night, but winning the 2 before that. So we should be in for a good matchup tonight.
Yeah, and Brewster threw a shutout last night. They beat up on the Anglers, something that Wareham did on Friday. So these are 2 teams that have similar passes, you mentioned. And we should have a fun game in store for us. Our cameraman, Zach Stewart, is making sure that we're on time here on the pregame. But, yeah. Was a great game the last time. I know that neither Chev nor Smythe are okay with tying again. Someone's going to win tonight. I can almost guarantee you that.
The second of 4 matchups between these 2 teams this year. Coleman Picard gets the ball tonight, and he should be in for a good third start after a strong second start versus Hyannis last week. Yeah,
Coleman and Manfredi have kind of had very similar paths. They both have started back-to-back every day this season. And they both have gotten rocked a little bit in the first, second inning, for their standards at least, and then rebounded very nicely and finished out strong. If Coleman can straighten things out, if he can come out with a great first and second inning, I trust him to really give the Gatemen 5-6 strong innings tonight, maybe even leave here with a win.
Let's get the manager's thoughts with Amanda Foster.
Back on the manager's show with Ryan Smythe, and Coach, last night ended in a 2-2 tie, but it wasn't a loss. So what are positive takeaways that you're taking from last night?
We picked up a point. I think we should have probably deserved 2, but we picked up a point. We'll move on from it. That was out of our hands. We can control the controllables, and we play baseball today, so ready to go again.
Oh, and you're taking on Brewster, who you tied with last time at Brewster. Have you been able to talk with Coach Shevchik about how ironic that was with all of the hype that went into it?
Yeah, we definitely joked about it. I mean, between coaches back at school and former players, current players, nobody predicted a tie. I don't think we did either. So it was ironic that happened to both of us. And then we both went on a little skid after that, too. So both back in the win column recently, though. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
I assume it's safe to say that you'd like to get a win this time around. What does your team have to do to do that tonight?
We just got to keep playing the same game we've been playing. I mean, we've been pitching it really well. Coleman's going to give us a good start tonight. We've been swinging it well, playing good D. So, I mean, it's all coming together. Guys are starting to get comfortable out here, which I said it's going to take a little time for the hitters and everything else. And really our offense has been fantastic all year round. But our pitchers are starting to settle in. They know what success is, and and how to get there. So, we're right where we want to be.
And you mentioned Coleman Picard making his third start. So what do you hope to see from him? What do you expect to see?
Same exact thing we got from him last time out. He was electric. He just absolutely filled up the zone, had his off-speed going. It's a beautiful day out, so I think we're going to have the same thing.
Thank you.
Competitive pay, state-of-the-art facilities, and opportunities in service, sales, accounting, HR, marketing, IT, and more. A job at Milton Cat, the Northeast Caterpillar dealer, is more than a career choice, it's a choice career. Visit miltoncat.com/careers to join their growing team.
Summer, our players are able to track and monitor their development thanks to our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary, Baseball Cloud, whose data tells the whole story. Baseball Cloud gives fans like you the opportunity to access each player's stats and historical data. Baseball Cloud technology is ushering the next 100 years of the Cape Cod Baseball League, inspiring and exciting the next generation of players and fans. Learn more at baseballcloud.com.
Back on the leadoff spot here on the Gatemen Baseball Network alongside Aiden Blanc. Jack Hunter here with you as we get you set for the Brewster Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen. Let's take a look at the standings around the league. First starting with the West Division, Cotuit dropping another one last night in bad fashion. 13-1 to the Bourne Braves. Mike Roberts and the Cotuit front office making some roster changes this morning. They've lost 2 straight, and Wareham now in second place, only 4 points back.
Yeah, Cotuit's now lost 2 in a row for the first time this summer. If you're a West Division fan and not a fan of Cotuit's, maybe you're getting a little excited about not an implosion, but a little bit of a cooling down period for the team that was the hottest in the league. And then in the East, Harwich is back in first place. They took out Falmouth. Falmouth has really taken it on the chin. Only 3 wins so far. Falmouth and Chatham have just gotten beaten. We mentioned they got beat by Brewster 6-0. Chatham did last night. Falmouth didn't do much better. They gave up a whole lot of runs to Harwich, and Harwich YD is a very interesting battle for first. Back and forth they go in the East Division.
So Brewster is 4 points back of Harwich in the East Division, but Brewster is 1-5-1 against teams inside the East. They have a West opponent tonight in Wareham, but that's something they're going to have to figure out, and that one win was last night versus Chatham. So you're talking about going the first 15 days of the season without beating an opponent in your division. Just a cool note of sorts. As we keep moving along here on the leadoff spot, here's Tommy Splane, Gateman catcher and first baseman with Amanda Foster.
I'm here with Tommy Splane, and Tommy, you played your first game for the Gatemen last night, and you played at a position that you haven't played for in a year, playing at first base. Mm-hmm. So how far in advance did you know that that's where you were going to be playing?
I knew a couple weeks in advance that I was going to come out here as a first baseman a little bit, but I mainly caught this whole season, played first my freshman year, but yeah, I kind of like playing anywhere.
Playing first your freshman year, was it a big adjustment going from catcher during the school year, or were you kind of just right at home?
No, I was kind of right at home. I always grew up playing catcher, and it's just kind of like, first hand to me, so yeah, it was nothing really new.
Oh, and in high school you pitched, caught, and played first base.
Yeah.
So can you tell me just kind of what that was like and how you ended up playing all 3 positions?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I even played shortstop, but yeah, so I pitched mainly in high school, and then I would play first just to give my arm a break and would catch here and there when I could. But yeah, I mean, just grew up catching, kind of playing everywhere, which has kind of helped just being able to play first base and other positions.
And you pitched a little bit so far in college, but primarily I take it you're a catcher. So what kind of went into that as you were going into college and then decided to be more of a catcher than a pitcher or first baseman?
Yeah, I mean, I tried pitching a little bit in college, and then my freshman year, it's just the way to help my team the most was playing first base, and then this year was catching, so just taking it year by year right now.
On your second day here at the Cape, but what are the biggest things that you want to accomplish out here this summer?
I mean, honestly, winning a Cape Cod championship would be awesome, but honestly, just meeting a bunch of, new people and just having some great relationships and just learning some new things.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Del Mar Vacations proudly sponsors the Cape Cod Baseball League. With over 350 properties across Cape Cod, there's no easier way to experience your favorite Cape League team than staying with Del Mar Vacation Rentals. Book your dream vacation today at thisisdelmar.com or call us at 508-247-0395 and discover the beauty of Cape Cod, where lifelong memories are made. Del Mar Vacations and the Cape Cod Baseball League, your ticket to an extraordinary getaway.
Do you know the sound Dunkin' Ice makes? Of course you do. It's the sound of summer, and summer sure does sound good. Try all the Dunkin' refreshers, iced coffee, cold brew, and lattes. Dunkin' Ice Cape Cod Baseball League runs on Duncan.
I'm here with our starting pitcher, Coleman Picard. And Coleman, in your last outing, you pitched for 5 innings, had 6 strikeouts. What are you taking from that into today's game?
Yeah, I'm just trying to build off it a little. Obviously, I was able to miss some bats and get some strikeouts, which was nice, but I think it started with strike one, attacking guys early, so I'm just looking to do that again today.
Well, and you've been on the Cape for a good while now. What are the biggest things that you've learned about yourself?
Just that the same stuff that I did well at school can translate here, not to do anything extra special, not to get out of myself, and just kind of compete with what I have on the mound.
And what's been your favorite part about playing for Wareham and Coach Smythe?
The best part of this for me is that my parents are able to come here real easy, not have to go over the bridge, so I'm real happy I ended up here.
What's it been like having them here for your games?
It's awesome. They're at every single one. They'll be here tonight, and it's really cool that they're able to share this with me.
All right, perfect. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore our offerings, including new programs in brain and cognitive science, business analytics, coaching, forensic investigations, marketing, and transformative justice. Check us out online at curry.edu.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
Wareham Gatemen, we say hello on a wonderful Monday evening as the Brewster Whitecaps head back to Wareham for the second time this season, matching up between these two teams. Alongside Aiden, Blanc, Jack Hunter here with you on the Gatemen Baseball Network. And Aiden, these two teams tying in the first matchup 7 days ago. One of these teams looking to get their first win against each other here tonight.
Yes, it is the second round of Smythe versus Chev, and I think everybody's very excited to watch it go down. Two teams that, as you mentioned, played a very good game the first time just about a week ago. And now the revenge tour continues. Didn't get it against Hyannis, but was able to win the second time around against Chatham and against Cotuit. The revenge tour continuing tonight and hopefully on Wednesday against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox.
Ryan Smythe has spent 15 years inside of Jamie Shevchik's dugouts at Keystone College, 2 as a player in 2009 and 2010, 13 as a coach starting in 2011. Last Monday was the first time they were in opposing dugouts, a highly anticipated matchup that ended in a tie. They're looking for their first non-tie between the two of them here tonight. Here's how the Brewster Whitecaps will line up. Leading off and playing center field, the South Alabama Jaguar Will Turner. Davis Diaz will be playing third base, hitting second, with Ike Irish, the first baseman, hitting third. Trevor Werner will be doing the DHing tonight. The Texas A&M Aggie has been a mainstay in the Brewster lineup over the course of the last few days. Dylan Leach catching and hitting fifth from Missouri, with Ivan Bretthauer, the left fielder, hitting sixth. Mason White, the Arizona Wildcat, will be playing second base and hitting seventh, with Peyton Green, the member of the NC State Wolfpack, playing shortstop and hitting eighth, with Patrick Forbes, the two-way guy, supposed to start tomorrow, playing in right field tonight, hitting ninth. Once again, that's Turner, Diaz, Irish, Werner, Leach, Bretthauer, White, Green, and Forbes. And Aiden, they will be facing Coleman Picard on the mound today for the Gatemen.
Good to see Coleman back. Hopefully can get him a win. In both games he's thrown, they've lost.
Coleman Picard will be protected by his field today. J.C. Cologne is at third, Sebastian Murillo at short, with Dorian Gonzalez on the other side at second, and Grant Hussey at first base. In the outfield from left to right, it's Landon Wallace, Josh Stevenson, and Nick McLean. So once again, Cologne, Murillo, Gonzalez, and Hussey across the diamond, and Wallace, Stevenson, and McLean in the outfield, with Tommy Splane catching tonight for the first time in a Wareham Gatemen uniform. We're just getting set to go between 6-6-2 teams, Brewster in the East Division. They are 4 points back of the Harwich Mariners, with the Wareham Gatemen 4 points back of the Cotuit Kettleers in the West. Slight rain here in the forecast. We got about 30% chance of thunderstorms through the course of the evening, hoping it will stay off for this Monday night matchup between these two teams. Brewster will be playing tomorrow. It was never a scheduled off day for them. They have a gala on Thursday that is preventing them from playing tomorrow. Preventing them from playing on Thursday, so they got to play tomorrow versus Orleans. Picard has got the ball on the back of the bump. Will Turner, the center fielder, steps into the box. Thank you for joining us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's time for Wareham Gatemen Baseball. And Picard from the line, the first pitch of the evening is a fastball high. 6 p.m. on the dot is our start time. 76 degrees is our game time temperature. I mentioned slight chance of rain in the forecast as the night moves on. A big swing and a miss from Turner. Our umpires today, the crew chief, Sam Finn, is behind the home plate. Brian McGuger is at first with Mickey Garcia at third. Will Turner subbed into the game as a defensive replacement the last time these two teams met. Went 1 for 4 last night. The 1-2, missing down. Brewster shut out Chatham last night 6-0 for their second consecutive win.
Yeah, we mentioned it on the pregame show. Brewster and Chatham have kind of taken it to the chin early in this season.
High pop-up. Hussey into the outfield grass, waits for it to come down, and that's the first out of the evening.
Third baseman, number 1, Davis Diaz from Vanderbilt.
Here's the Commodore, Davis Diaz. Picard is looking to have the best start of his Cape experience here today. Had a solid outing in his first outing, really competed, didn't have his best stuff, was much better last time, and spins a curveball high and tight. Pitched last Tuesday against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So a much better outing, but still work to be done for Picard. (2-0) en route.
Oh boy.
It's a slider that nips the outside corner. Picard, draft eligible. Would not be surprised to hear his name upcoming in a few weeks. And he's fallen behind 3 balls and 1 strike. He's given the front of the mound some serious attention. 3-1. Hit high to left field. Wallace in front of the wall will grab it for out number 2.
A couple of hard smacks off Picard, but so far he's kept it in the ballpark and gotten the first 2 outs. We've talked about how important it is for Coleman to have a strong start. He admitted it to me last night. He said, you know, last couple of starts, I've gotten hit a little bit in the first 2 innings or so. He's going to want to change that, and he's well on his way to doing so right now.
First pitch, a big looper to Ike Irish that misses high. Picard, a native of Auburn, Massachusetts, which is 80 miles northwest of here. He's got family in attendance to see him pitch today. Picard just finishing his 2nd year for the Bryant Bulldogs after spending his freshman year at Hartford.
Attaboy.
Spenner in there, trying to get back in the count. Picard looking to get back to his spring ways here tonight. Chopper to second. Gonzalez gets a nice Sunday hop, flinging it to first. And 1-2-3 is how the Whitecaps go down in the top of the first. At the end of 1/2 inning here from Spillane Field, it's Brewster 0 and the Gatemen coming up next on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary is Baseball Cloud, data that tells the whole story. This season, Baseball Cloud pays homage to the past while building the future. Their technology will help tell the story of the next 100 years of Cape Cod Baseball League history, inspiring and exciting the next generation of baseball players and fans. Learn how to bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization by visiting baseballcloud.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle empty bottles, cans, and other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
To the bottom of the first we go. The pitcher for Brewster is Josh Sanders, the 6'4" righty weighing 195 pounds. Out of Texas Tech, the native of Oklahoma is making his first start since entering college today. He spent 3 years with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. He's made 45 appearances, and he's made a few here this summer. For Brewster, has not started a game until now. And here's how the Whitecaps will line up around him. Ivan Bretthauer will be in left field. Will Turner in center with Patrick Forbes in right. Across the diamond from left to right, Davis Diaz, Peyton Green, Mason White, and Ike Irish. Dylan Leach, the Missouri Tiger, J.C. Cologne's teammate, is catching the righty. And Josh Stevenson in the left-handed batter's box will greet Sanders to begin the evening. Sanders did not have a great outing the last time he was out there, which was 4 days ago in a 13-2 loss for Orleans. The wiry righty kicks and deals. Bunt. Stevenson back to the mound. Sanders will toss it to first for out number 1. The Gatemen were doing a lot of work pregame bunting the baseball. Cody Doyle had the pitching machine going behind home plate. They're just having guys bunt. And Stevenson, who's shown bunt pretty regularly, bunts it back to the mound. Here's Nick McClain. First pitch fastball misses high. Sanders rocks a fastball a majority of the time. Experiments with some breaking balls as well. High and tight. But throws the fastball about 70% of the time. Changeup, slider, and curveball to go with it. Sanders finds his sign and fires, and it's high and away. So the last time the Brewster Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen played 7 days ago, Dylan Leach, the guy behind the plate, was wearing number 4. And now the guy he's catching, Sanders, is donning the number. Leach with 31. Pitch, cracked to short. Green up with it. And a strong throw marks the second out of the evening.
First baseman number 27, Grant Hussey from West Virginia.
You can see that throw is barely beating McClain. Nice play by Green at short. And now Grant Hussey, who has been kind of streaky. I think you would agree with Wareham. He's had very good games and also some games that maybe he'd rather not happen.
Sanders comes into tonight with a 40.5 ERA. And he delivers a first pitch strike to Grant Hussey. That is only one outing in which he got 2 outs, surrendered 5 hits and 3 earned runs in that 13-2 bloodbath against the Orleans Firebirds. 0-1.
Yeah, his ERA entering the game was a whopping 45.5. But again, that's through 2/3 of an inning, so you can't really get into that too much. It's his first start, as you mentioned.
Again off the plate. Sanders has got a low 3/4 arm slot. Has a lot of movement on the fastball. That's why he's able to throw it at such a high clip. Hussey smacks it left side and foul. Grant got the day off yesterday at Hyannis. He was kind of joking in the batter's circle in BP yesterday. It was a bad night to have an off night at McKeon Park with the hitter-friendly dimensions. Readies himself for the 2-2. Spinner that is in the right-handed batter's box. Coleman Picard set the Whitecaps down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Sanders trying to do the same here in the bottom. The payoff pitch. Chops back.
Hussey likes hitting here, though. Spillane is where he had a, not career day, but at least Gateman career day. Grand slam, couple more hits to go along with it in that game against Chatham.
3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. A nice looking fastball from Josh Sanders at 94 on the gun. Both pitchers seeing the opposing lineups down 1-2-3 in the first. We go to the second with the score tied at 0.
Hosting a hot stove event on July 12th to benefit the Bring Back the Hall.
We go to the top of the second. Coleman Picard back out on the mound. And for more on the right-handed pitcher, here's our sideline reporter, Amanda Foster. Amanda?
Well, guys, it's Coleman Picard's third start of the season, so he's feeling a little more comfortable on the mound. And he told me something that he really appreciates about being out here in the Cape League is the fact that his family can come to all of his games. He's from Auburn, Massachusetts, so not too far away, so his family's been able to come and see him start. They're here right now, and he says he really acknowledges how special it is to be able to share this very unique experience with them.
Thank you, Amanda. Auburn, Massachusetts, about 80 miles and 80 minutes away from here. He also goes to Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island, which is under an hour from here. So he's very comfortable in this area, familiar with the Cape League growing up and getting to experience it here playing for the Wareham Gatemen this summer. In his third start, he's got Trevor Werner, Dylan Leach, and Ivan Bretthauer, 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Whitecaps in the top of the second. On the Gatemen Baseball Network, alongside our producers Rachel Manning and Braden Schenk, and my broadcast partner, Aiden Blanc. Jack Hunter here with you. And the first pitch slider misses low and out. Brewster has struggled offensively this year with runners in scoring position, and especially with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. High fly ball left center field. This one's going to stay in the park. Stevenson calling off Wallace in left center field to make the grab for out number 1. And especially in their 4-game losing streak, they can really not find it. In scoring position this year, they are hitting .205 in those situations. But Trevor Werner, who just flew out, has been a big reason behind the turnaround the past 2 games. Had 3 RBIs yesterday. Here's Leach, the switch-hitting catcher. First pitch fly ball towards the line. Wallace in fair territory makes the grab. A quick 2 outs here for Picard.
Left fielder number 52, Ivan Bretthauer from California at Santa Ana.
Well, if Picard wants to make it deep in this game, having 2 outs on 3 pitches is a good way to do so here in the second. The big Ivan Bretthauer. First pitch, left field. Wallace coming in, and he's going to play it on a hop. The 6'6" Santa Barbara Gaucho tries to break up Picard's 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the second.
Had a lot of confidence going into the box. You could tell he was ready to go first pitch swinging.
Here steps Mason White, the second baseman. White played an integral role in the tie last Monday. Pitch. Breaking ball misses down. He was the placed runner in the bottom of the 10th inning in a tie game. All he needed to do was score, and the Whitecaps could have won. They had the middle of the lineup due up, and he got picked off trying to steal third. by Lucas Malstead. 1-0 on the way. Another breaking ball. This one catches the inside corner. Picard, fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. The slider and the curveball are what makes the scouts drool. 1-1. Hit back. Oh! Look what Coleman Picard found on the mound. The flip to first, and the inning is complete. All smiles for the right-handed hurler as he comes off the mound. That ball was hit 91 off the bat, and it found the glove of Coleman Picard. What a play. A one-out single gets stranded for the Whitecaps. We go to the bottom of the second. Your score still tied at 0 from Spillane Field.
Happy birthday, Pam.
To the bottom of the second we go here from Spillane Field after Coleman Picard made an incredible play on the mound. Josh Sanders back out on the bump for the Brewster Whitecaps. He delivered a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. David Glancy, Landon Wallace, and Sebastian Murillo, 3 righties scheduled to meet Sanders this inning. Say hello from Spillane Field here tonight, alongside our producers Rachel Manning, Braden Shank, and my broadcast partner Aiden Blanc. Jack Hunter here with you on a Monday night. Both of these teams at 6-6-2, both of them 4 points out of first place in separate divisions, Brewster in the East and Wareham in the West. Sanders rocks and fires. His first pitch is a fastball up. Clancy was a defensive sub last night in Hyannis. Came on late when the fog started to worsen. Sanders yanks the 1-0. This is always a special matchup, Brewster and Wareham. Ryan Smythe, Jamie Shevchuk, the 2 managers in opposing dugouts with a long history with each other. Sanders trying to get back in the count. Smythe has been in the same dugout with Shevchuk for 15 years, 2 as a player, 13 as a coach. They won 2 championships in Brewster, coached in the NECBL together, have coached at Keystone together since 2011. 2-1, cracked to left center field, and this one is going to get down in front of the center fielder, Turner. He's quick to cut it off, holds Clancy to a single here to begin the bottom of the second.
Left fielder number 12, Landon
As you can see on your screen, we're powered by TrackMan here tonight. You see the 3 hitting metrics. Exit speed is how hard he hit it off the bat. The launch angle is how high or low he hit off the bat. And then the distance is how far it traveled. Get to the pitching ones in a second as Landon Wallace steps in, the left fielder tonight. And first pitch, he gets hit flush in the thigh. A painful way to reach base, but he takes one for the team. The pitching metrics on the screen that you'll see throughout tonight: release speed, how fast the pitcher is throwing, spin rate, how well they're spinning the ball. Higher is better for certain pitches, especially fastballs and breaking stuff. And then induced vertical break, which is how much they're either carrying the ball or dipping the ball in the absence of gravity. Once again, powered here by TrackMan tonight on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Murillo stands in. Diaz in at third. Glancy's going. Double steal. Then they're going to have no play at either base. Heads up base running. David Glancy with steal number 7 on the year. Wallace follows him to second, and the Gatemen have 2 runners in scoring position with 0 outs. Now Murillo's got to do a job. He's got to try to at least get one run in with the Whitecap defense back. Hit out of play right side. Sebastian hitting .242 on the season. That's 8 for 33. He's driven in 5 runs. He saved his best performances for the Falmouth Commodores this year. 1-1, misses high and wide. So Sanders getting through 1 inning in the first already set his Cape season long after getting 2 outs versus the Firebirds last week. Went 3-1 in 27 2/3 innings pitched for the Red Raiders in the Big 12 this year. Cracked, right center field. Forbes ranging over, he's gonna make the grab. The pitcher's got a good arm out there in right field. Glancy is gonna score as the throw runs offline. Wallace moves to third, and the Gatemen have the early lead here in the bottom of the second. Forbes, the two-way guy, the starting pitcher for Brewster tomorrow, playing right field today, threw a strike, but it was not accurate enough. You can hear Ryan Smythe from the dugout telling Tommy to do the same thing. The Gatemen would love to get the second run across. They got down 2-0 in the second inning against the Whitecaps in the first meeting. .1-0 on the way. Chopped at the plate, gets a piece of the home plate umpire, Sam Fenn. Some good gamesmanship between Leach and Fenn, both checking up on each other. Tommy Splane catching for the first time in a Wareham Gatemen uniform. He played first base last night. As you heard on the pregame interview with Amanda Foster, he knew he was going to be playing first base here for the Gatemen, but did not play first base for the Arizona Wildcats this past year. The 1-1. Nice front door breaking ball, but it misses an ounce low. Splane just finishing his sophomore year for Arizona. Hit .281. Chops one, he gets past the mound, it's gonna score the run. White's only plays to first, and the Gatemen have a 2-0 lead. Didn't hit it hard, but did a job. And he's gonna get greeted as he returns to the dugout with a plethora of high fives.
Yeah, last 2 batters that have come to the plate have done exceptionally well in just bringing in the runs. Neither has reached base, neither has had a big hit, but they both brought in runs, and that's what matters here. Gatemen have had the early runs the last couple of games, and it seemed to work.
Big swing and a miss. They got the 2-0 lead in the top of the first last night versus Hyannis on a McLean home run. Versus the Katuitt Cavaliers, they took the 1-0 lead on Wallace's solo homer in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0, chop first base side, collected on the hop by Irish. He'll step on the bag, and that will end the inning in a big 5 spot in the first inning for Wareham on Friday against Chatham 2. While we finish that thought, 2 runs in the inning off of 1 hit. Nobody left for the Gatemen in the bottom of the second. Let's keep moving here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's now 2-0 Wareham as we go to the third.
Curry prepares students to engage in successful.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th-year master's programs at curry.edu.
We'd like to welcome our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary, Baseball Cloud. This summer, Baseball Cloud's data and analytics tools are used across the league to enhance player development and your experience with live in-game and post-game data. Baseball Cloud is excited to inspire and excite the next generation of players and fans and bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization. Learn more at baseballcloud.com.
Ever since these two teams met at Stony Brook Field last Monday, they've gone on some interesting paths since. The Wareham Gatemen lost 3 straight games during the week, including a game versus the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, in which the Red Sox scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game and scored a run in the bottom of the 10th to win. Brewster lost 4 consecutive games where they could not get the bats going. They scored 3 runs, 4 runs, 2 runs, and then 0 runs. But both of them have started to turn things around since, with Wareham winning 2 games on Friday and Saturday respectively, and then on Sunday tying versus Hyannis, and then Brewster winning their last 2 games, defeating Bourne on Saturday 9-5, and then beating the Chatham Anglers yesterday 6-0. As we move along to the third, Peyton Green, Patrick Forbes, and Will Turner will be the 3 hitters scheduled to face Coleman Picard. That's 8, 9, and 1 due up in the Whitecaps order. Picard from the windup. Green shows bunt but pulls back. Green is one of a few notable members of the NC State Wolfpack to hit the transfer portal. 0-1. A big swing and a miss. A nice slider from Coleman. Green is 0 for 8 in his last 3 games, including 0 for 3 versus Chatham yesterday. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's Picard's first strikeout of the evening, and it comes here to begin the top of the 3rd. Picard had big strikeout stuff this year for Bryant. He struck out almost 34% of the hitters he faced. And the impressive thing about that, too, is he only walked about 6% of the hitters he faced. First pitch to Forbes, chopped off. For some more accurate numbers there, 12 walks to 59 strikeouts. Here in the Cape, 5 walks to 6 strikeouts. And he didn't strike out anybody in his first outing, but he found it last outing. A big spinner in there for strike 2, striking out 6 over the course of 5 innings. So looking to put it together tonight, low walks, high strikeouts. The game plan for Picard. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Forbes went fishing for the breaking ball, came up empty, and 2 up, 2 down via the punch out here in the top of the 3rd.
Center fielder number 23, Will Turner from South
Well, this is exactly the start that Coleman wanted. He has really worked himself into a groove here. Now, 1 base runner. That's it.
Had a really quick top half of the 2nd inning. Got 2 outs with 3 pitches. First pitch curveball just misses down. Splane tried to present it nicely. Gave up a first pitch single to Brett Hauer. And then Mason White wasted no time sending a hard hit ball back to the mound, but Picard picked it up. So working efficiently here. Ground ball second base. Gonzalez has got a slide, and he gets through him into right field.
It's just a tough play by Dorian Gonzalez, and he gave it everything he had. Just couldn't quite stop it.
It's a good changeup from Picard. Got Turner to roll over on it, but he hit it to the right place, and that's baseball. Back to Davis Diaz in the 2-hole. Diaz is one of a few Commodores we've seen up here. Chris Maldonado playing for Chatham. R.J. Austin, the freshman standout from this past year, playing for YD. First pitch to him. High pop-up, right side. Splane is going to give it chase. And he's going to see it clank here in the bleachers of Spillane Field. A late arriving crowd tonight. You can still see some fans filing into the outfield bleachers.
Wallace, Landon.
Looks like they're moving Landon over. He's going to cheat to his left a little bit, more towards left center field.
The Gatemen are playing Diaz pretty straight up. Stevenson a little to the right side of the bag. In right center field, out there in center field. Diaz went 0 for 2 and walked yesterday. Was not on the Whitecaps roster the last time these two teams matched up against each other. That's a common theme for this Brewster lineup. Turner bouncing around at first. He stays put, and the pitch misses low. So Davis Diaz, Trevor Werner, Ivan Brett Hauer were all guys that were not a part of Brewster's team just 7 days ago, and they've made big impacts for Brewster since. Another quick pick. The Gatemen are lucky not to be seeing Jaime Ferrer tonight. He had a 2-run home run the last time these two teams met. He was the standout offensive performer for Brewster, going 3 for 4. Also missing the Indiana Hoosier Brock Tibbetts, who's leading the team in hits and batting average. Curveball finds the zone. Picard 1 pitch away from striking out the side here in the top of the 3rd. Diaz getting timed. Picard paying Will Turner a lot of attention out there, and Turner is a great leadoff hitter for Jamie Shevchak. For South Alabama this year, he walked a lot, walked 40 times, stole 10 bases, 349 batting average. He's playing pretty well up here in the Cape. 1-2 on the way, he goes. He's fouled off at the plate.
You mentioned Ferrer's not on the roster anymore, or Tibbetts, and for the Gatemen, that's a good thing. Ferrer not playing tonight. 3 hits, 4 times on base the last time these two teams played. Scored 2 of the 4 runs in that game, a couple of singles, and a home run.
To clarify, both guys still on the roster, just not playing tonight. It's a scheduled off night for both of them here for the Whitecaps. Picard ready to go with the 1-2, 2 outs. Turner leading at first. He comes home, and it skips to the plate. A nice stop by Splane. Diaz took a big jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year. 50 points in the batting average department. Hit .263 for Tim Corbin's Commodores this past year. Struggled last summer with the Whitecaps, hitting .217. Hussey gets the tag on the left calf, but not in time. Brian McGuger, the first base umpire over there. Mickey Garcia, the third base umpire on the second base side. Up the middle. Another 2-2 on the way. Here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Picard goes to the curveball. Splane digs it out, tosses to first, and Coleman Picard strikes out the side here in the 3rd. The Whitecaps get 1 hit. They leave 1 stranded. They do not get a run across. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's Wareham 2 and the Whitecaps 0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. We talked about how special this matchup between these two teams are, Brewster and Wareham. Ryan Smythe and Jamie Shevchak coaching in the same dugout for 13 years. Smythe played for Shevchak at Keystone for 2 years. We had a really special moment tonight when the 3 umpires were convening to exchange lineups tonight. Ryan Smythe's daughter, Eliana, exchanged lineup cards with Jamie Shevchak's daughter as well. It was a really cool moment between 2 guys who have a lot of respect for each other. And we're getting set here for the bottom of the 3rd. Cologne, Stevenson, and McLean do up against Sanders, who gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. Appeal to first, he went, says Brian McGuger.
Despite the Cologne crouch, or the semicolon as we like to call it. Semi-Cologne.
Cologne playing 3rd base tonight, did not play yesterday. Squares to bunt and pulls back. It's a strike on the outer edge. JC has been good in the limited at-bats he's gotten. He's 5 for 13 in 6 appearances, has shown up as a defensive substitute a few times, and he takes a fastball for strike 3. That'll be Sanders' second strikeout of the evening. And back to the top we go. So Stevenson has been great in the leadoff spot for Wareham. He got moved there after going 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox last Thursday. Is now in his 4th game in the spot. Takes a big swing and a miss. He's now 4 for 13 hitting leadoff. Still a 300 clip. And for a team this year that has hit under 200 leading off innings, they are hitting 198 to lead off innings. For a guy like Stevenson to hit at a high clip to lead off innings has been great. He was 3 for 6 coming into the night when leading off an inning. He's behind in the count, 0 balls and 2 strikes. Glove over the face from Sanders. He comes home, and he misses outside.
Kind of an empty bullpen for Brewster. There's just one guy down there. Not that they're going to the bullpen this early, but most of the other teams that come here send their guys down the line there.
First base side foul past Cody Doyle there in the first base coach's box, or a little beyond it.
And that'll make it a very cramped dugout when the 9 on the field come back to hit.
Let's try the 1-2 again here with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Sanders winds and gets a swing and a miss for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for Sanders in the bottom of the 3rd via the punch-outs after Picard did the same thing in the top half.
From Arizona State.
The usual suspects, some have hit, but, you know, top 3 in the lineup, which is usually where they get their hits from. Unusually quiet, 0 for 4 to start between Stevenson, McLean, and Hussey.
McLean trying to change that, but he sends it foul. Brewster will host Orleans tomorrow. They have the off day on Thursday. Wareham with the day off tomorrow as McLean gets back and set in the left-handed batter's box. Has hit all 3 of his home runs from the left side this year. The switch hitter awaits the 0-1, and he takes it high.
Very good day for the McLeans yesterday. Nick, obviously, 2 hits and 3 at-bats against the Harbor Hawks, but his brother Matt, 2019 Wareham Gatemen, became the 2nd Reds rookie since at least 1901 to record 4 extra base hits in a game.
Fastball on the inside corner. Sanders, the scouting report on him is that he throws a lot of fastballs almost 70% of the time. He's got good run on the pitch from his arm slot. He's been throwing it early and often here tonight. He's got McLean in the 1-2 count. And here it is. Fly ball right field. Forbes has got a beat on it. Going in front of the Cranberry self-storage sign out there in right field to grab it. In a 1-2-3 inning for Sanders here in the bottom of the 3rd, settling in nicely. We go to the 4th. It's 2-0 Wareham.
In the town you call home.
Milton Cat is proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League. From paving and landscaping to recreational boating and facility management, Milton Cat has the right equipment, parts, service, and technology to keep you working. Visit miltoncat.com to learn more.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military, veterans, and first responders. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls piled high.
Back to the 4th here, 2-0 Wareham, and to take you through the middle innings, here's Aiden Blanc.
Thanks, Jack. It's Ike Irish, first baseman, to lead things off for the Whitecaps in a game they trailed 2-0.
good to be with you on Wareham Community Television, D1Baseball.com, and as we always say, worldwide on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Irish way out in front of Picard's first pitch. It's 0-1.
Number 24, Ike Irish from Auburn.
Irish, a first-team freshman All-American and All-SEC freshman team as well. Ball breaks inside. It's 1-1. Out of Auburn. 13 multi-hit performances in his first 17 games with the Tigers. Swing and a miss. Another great breaking ball. Picard's ahead 1-2. Irish, Trevor Werner, Dylan Leach. Those are the three that come to the plate for Jamie Shevchek's squad, trying to even things up. Pitch overthrown, 2-2.
Looks like Coleman Picard's having a lot of fun out there on the mound tonight. He's smiling a lot. When he doesn't have a good pitch, he just kind of shakes it off and jumps around on the mound. You can tell he's really having a good time.
Full wind, laced to short, picked up by Murillo on a backhand, and the magnet over to first for out number 1. We saw so much of him in the Katuitt game 2 games ago, the last home game for the Gatemen. How special was that to watch him play shortstop so well? And it clearly is not a fluke. It's going to continue. Trevor Werner steps in now, flat out in his first at-bat. Werner readies and takes a strike.
Werner, a Texas A&M Aggie, a guy that's got 1 year of eligibility left, trying to have a strong summer here, and he's had a good start.
Again, way out in front of it. Picard's been lacing those pitches in. It's 0-2. Preseason All-SEC second team. Plenty of awards in his trophy cabinet. Lifted a 1-1. He is laced to left field. That is down the line and fair on Wallace. A base hit. Werner takes a huge turnaround first, but hangs out there. Now 1 for 2. Sets the stage with a 1-out single for Dylan Leach.
Catcher, number 31.
Talked about Brewster not being able to get in runs in big situations, and Werner, in his few games he's played for Brewster, has changed that. He hit a grand slam and had a 2-run double in the same game versus Bourne a few nights ago, and had another nice night versus Chatham last night, 2 for 3, 2 doubles and 3 RBIs.
Lease, the Missouri Tigers, squares to bunt, pulls it back, but not in time. The count's 0-1. Transferred from Arkansas last season for 2023. First game with Missouri, he had a walk-off double at the College Baseball Showdown. 0-1 to the lefty. Off the inside of the bat, pop foul left side, out of play. He also had a walk-off home run back in May against the Georgia Bulldogs, so Sebastian Murillo may not remember him too fondly. It's 0-2 on the lefty hitter, who hit 193 this spring with 4 home runs and 15 RBI. Turns out of a pitch low and in, 1-2.
Yeah, Picard, I think, wanted that pitch, but the problem is when Splane is set up on the outside corner and the pitch kind of crosses him, it could come across the plate as a strike, but if you don't present it well, then it's going to be hard for the home plate umpire to ring him up.
The 1-2, runner goes, swing and a miss. And Picard has himself 2 batters of the 3 he's faced in this inning retired. Brings up Ivan Brethauer.
Ivan Brethauer from California at Santa Ana.
California Santa Ana singled in the second inning.
Santa Barbara Gaucho, Ivan Brethauer used to be a part of the Arizona State Sun Devils 2022 before transferring.
First pitch to the righty, on its way. Low and escapes from Splane. It will advance the runner to third. So Werner is now 90 feet from scoring.
Aiden, you have any Ivan Brethauer memories from 2022?
Not much. That is a season that a lot of Sun Devil fans would rather forget.
He played pretty well, though, at 290.
He did. He did. The Sun Devils have been kind of transfer city as of recent. A lot of guys transferring out this year, getting drafted. At the beginning of the season, all 3 starters in the ASU weekend rotation were transfers. The 1-1. Gatemen looking for 4 consecutive games with points earned, either via the tie or the win. They haven't done that yet this year. This is their longest point streak. Hits the outer third, strike 2.
And that's why having 2 breaking balls is so important. You give them different looks and you can still change speeds with it. You went to the curveball the pitch before, couldn't get it, sped him up 5-mile-an-hour difference, a little bit of difference in the shape there with the slider, and gets a called strike.
Deuces are wild with 2 out. The pitch. Blocked by Splane.
See, when you have multiple pitches that you can throw in the zone that have different shapes to them, you can stay in the zone because you don't have to kind of beat around the bush. You can go fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, and get the hitters off balance by changing speeds and not location necessarily.
From the stretch, Picard's 3-2 is low, and he surrenders his first walk. Something that's bit into Coleman a little bit. When he struggles, it's usually because of those free passes. He's given up 3 hits, 4 base runners. Here's Mason White. White will have his at-bat delayed because Ryan Smythe has come to the mound to talk to Coleman Picard. Not very Smythe-like to just come out for a mound visit.
Well, Smythe does that pretty regularly where Brian Greisman will come out sometimes, but Smythe is usually going to come out. I think this is going to, ask Coleman how he's feeling. Just maybe give him a little bit of scouting information, a little bit of a pep talk. You see all the infield in there convening as well. We talk about this sometimes. There are managers that will go out only to pull their pitchers. There are managers that assume the role of pitching coach. Smythe does neither, but when he wants his message to be relayed, he'll go out himself instead of the pitching coach. But this is not going to take Picard out of the game because there's nobody warming up in the Wareham bullpen.
So once again, the batter is Mason White. Really terrific year for him at Arizona. Hit .313, slugged over 600. 10 home runs in 53 games, 35 runs driven in. Werner, Bretthauer on the bases. White at the plate, lefty. Chops one to first. Diving stop. Hussey knocked it down. They're going to go to first, and they got him! How about that? Hussey knocked it down. Gonzalez picked it up, and Picard squeezed the glove. The Gatemen get out of it. 4 scoreless for Coleman Picard on a 3-4-1 putout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. On our way to the 5th. Coleman Picard escapes the fourth, still throwing a gem.
First baseman number 27.
The batter
Hussey
is
from
Grant
West
Hussey,
Virginia.
who I think deserves an assist on that last play.
Well, he's going to get credited in the book with knocking it down.
I mean, if he doesn't sacrifice his body, and dude is big, if he doesn't sacrifice himself there, well, they don't get it out and probably give up a run. Husbus leads off, having struck out already. Takes a pitch yanked inside from Sanders. Back out for a fourth inning of work. Gatemen put up a crooked number in the second. First and third, they've gone down 1-2-3. The 1-0. Hard hit, low to the ground, takes a hop off the front of the infield grass. Whitefields and puts him out at first as Irish squeezes the glove. Always appreciate when a middle infielder like that, or any infielder here at Spillane, is able to anticipate those hops. You know, the gravel and the grass has been known to kind of kick up at some points, and he was prepared for it. That's why a lot of them, including two of the infielders right now, the middle infielders, are back on the grass. They're going to let it come to them. Batter is David Glancy. Takes it outside, strike 0-1. Glancy responsible for one of the runs. He singled in the second. The 0-1. Glancy really enjoying his time on Cape Cod. He came here as a transfer, having graduated from St. John's, and has now found a new home in Notre Dame. The 1-1, ooh, an excuse me swing, and it barely touches the bat. I don't know why an appeal was needed there.
Well, the first base umpire, Brian McGuger, says he fouled it off. And I'm not really sure the first base umpire can say that. That would be something coming from the home plate umpire, Sam Finn. So when they went over to him, he just put his hands up as in that's a foul ball, not a swing or no swing. And now they're going to convene because Ryan Smythe
I think it was. Yeah. It was a foul ball.
And Ryan Smythe,
I mean, even we could see that from up here. Am I missing something? All right, well, there's a conversation to be had.
Well, I just think Smythe would want the home plate umpire, Sam Finn, to call it a foul ball himself instead of the first base umpire being the one to call it.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. We're waiting on it. And I guess we're calling it a foul ball. No official call was made other than the first one. So the count is 1-2. Wow, that escape. Count is even now at 2-2. That ball only 73 miles an hour out of the hand of Sanders on the mound. 2-2 to the righty. Glancy back in the box, low stance, and takes it outside. Now has a 3-2 count.
This is a tough time for a lot of Cape teams, having to let guys go, innings limits, draft coming up, USA. So the fact that Sanders, in his first start ever at the collegiate level, can get them through a long outing, 3 1/3 already, is impressive.
Full wind from Sanders, and the pitch is poked foul.
He only got 2 outs versus Orleans a few days ago.
This is by far his longest outing of the season. Maybe still trying to figure out where he fits into this rotation. If he's a guy that can go, 5 innings in a starter, if they're a little bit more comfortable with him out of the bullpen. He walks Glancy. It's his first walk of the day. Only second free pass. So he hit Wallace back in the second. Speaking of Landon, here he is. He was our guest during the fog delay last night. You were very impressed with his MLB The Show skills.
I was getting some tips from him today. I feel like I'm more prepared to be a better player. Landon Wallace is one of the better MLB The Show players in the country.
Well, we don't have anything to play it on. The first pitch is fouled off. It's 0-1. Unless, Mary has an Xbox or something that we don't know about.
I left my PlayStation back at home in Atlanta.
What are you doing?
The thought was, if I'm ever playing PlayStation at Cape Cod, I'm either not doing a good enough job working, or I need to be going to the beach.
We have an off day tomorrow. We could have been playing.
Touching some sand.
Glancy slides back in safely.
And not only do we have an off day tomorrow, we need things to do that are probably not outside. We're expecting rain. So we got to do something. It's 0-1 on Wallace. Another check back. Gatemen are home on Wednesday for the YD Red Sox, and then Thursday at Harwich, Friday at Catuit, Saturday here against Falmouth, and Sunday against Orleans as we head into holiday weekend. That ball is shot deep left field. Brett Howard knows he has no play. Landon Wallace, just an explosion to deep left field into the Gatemen bullpen to give Wareham a 4-0 lead. They double their run total on another moonshot from Landon Wallace. This is not 430, it's 378, but pretty darn impressive nonetheless. Another one of those from Wallace that you just know right off the bat, it is gone.
This sounds silly, but I don't think I've ever seen Landon Wallace pull a ball like that. I mean, he hits everything the other day. He hits everything to center field. That's really his focus at the plate. But he took that pitch and sent it for a ride.
The West Virginia Mountaineers, Landon Wallace and Grant Hussey, seem to love hitting here. They have each homered. Actually, Wallace has homered now twice. There's a strike to Murillo, who had the first RBI back in the second inning on a flyout. Brought home Glancy. The 0-1. That ball off the bat certainly didn't seem like 378 feet. Felt like it was going over 400, but nonetheless, he'll take it. The 0-2. Murillo taps it foul.
Yeah, it was a different home run than the one he hit a few days back. The one he hit a few days back, I mean, he got the best of that baseball. That's why it's the longest home run in the Cape this year. He hit that one really far, but he hit the left, so he didn't have to hit it as well and got under it a little bit more as well.
The 0-2, rocks and deals. Sanders has his pitch spoiled.
But homers are not discriminatory. A home run is a home run, no matter what it looks like on the track, man. He'll take it.
The Gatemen now lead 4-0. They've done a great job building leads here the last bunch of days. The 0-2 just outside. With the exception of the Bourne walk-off, a lot of the games they played, with the exception of the Bourne walk-off and the Orleans game that was, never finished, they just ended it in the 5th or 6th. The Gatemen love to win big here at home, 2-2. 12-1 against Harwich. And they win 8-4 against Chatham. 7-2 against Catuit. They don't, other than, one game, the walk-off against Bourne, they don't play a lot of close games here. They win by a lot. Fouled away. They have only gotten one win on the road, so they're more than happy to play here as many times as possible. It'll be very interesting. They got that gauntlet coming up late in the week. Thursday, Friday, Sunday on the road. And 2 of those trips are basically all the way across Cape Cod, Orleans and Harwich. The even offering from Sanders is outside 3-2.
Love Murillo's 2-strike approach here. Gatemen have been working on situational hitting a lot in the on the field batting practice for the games. He's shortening up a little bit, choking up, getting a little bit wider as well, cutting down on some of the leg kick or stride.
Payoff offering to Georgia's shortstop. Full wind from Sanders. Unleashes a ball that's tapped up the middle into the glove of Green at short and throws across to retire Sebastian for the second time in this game. So a ground out to third, followed by a walk from Glancy, a home run from Wallace, and then a ground out from Murillo. That is how the Gatemen have done here in the 4th. Brings up Tommy Splane. And Tommy also brought in a run, grounded out in his first appearance. He shoots one to right center field, dropping quick and down on Forbes. Base hit for Tommy Splane.
Runner on with 2 out of the inning.
Well, Tommy Splane with his first hit in a Wareham
I was about
uniform.
to say, I don't think he got a hit last night.
University of Miami.
He walked, but getting the first one on the board here tonight with the swing.
And yet, without, that also says a little bit about him. Without even getting a hit, he's already contributed, had an RBI before he had his first hit. Now Dorian Gonzalez taking a strike, it's 0-1.
And the Gatemen did a really nice job in the second inning of having team at-bats. Murillo with a team at-bat, sac fly. Splane just did enough to get the ball out to second base and drive in another run.
They call a balk. Splane's up to second. Gonzalez now in a 1-1 count.
And that can be something that's really challenging in summer ball. Obviously during the spring, or you grow up playing, just have a team at bat. But in summer ball, everybody's trying to put up good statistics for themselves. Everybody's trying to get noticed by the scouts. Putting dice together and trying to get them to win can be a little difficult. So for the Gatemen to have those team at bats says a lot about their team culture as well.
Line drive, left center field. That's going to touch grass. Rounding is Splane. No throw home, and it's a 5-0 Gatemen lead. Well, we were just talking about how Wareham likes to blow things open early in the game. We're not even halfway through, and they've got a 5-0 lead. And, of course, conversely, when they get to the dugout, or beg your pardon, when they finish the inning, before they run out, Ryan Smythe is probably going to say, hey, we've been in this situation before on the other end of it and come back. So don't get complacent. Keep playing your game. Pulled left side. There's one, and that's all they need. Well, fielder's choice from J.C. Cologne concludes the inning. But the Gatemen do get 3 runs. It comes on 2 hits, 3 hits, beg your pardon, with no errors. And one runner left on base. The 4th inning is concluded, and it's Wareham 5, Brewster nothing.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services.
The Gatemen are proud to partner with Franklin Sports as the official batting gloves of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves courtesy of Franklin. From the Cape League to the big leagues, it's all hands on deck.
Coleman Picard is rolling. He will deal a 5th inning of work, and if he can get through it, he'd be in line for a win. Gatemen have a 5-run cushion right now. Things couldn't be going better, Jack.
Yeah, Picard went 5 innings in his last outing, but unfortunately the Gatemen were unable to hold on to the lead for him. Brett Witrowski, his teammate, the only guy here for Wareham this summer with a win as it coming out of the open the game as a starting pitcher. So Picard with the lead, if he can get through 5, and he's no reason to believe he can't, be a big win for him.
First pitch to Peyton Green. Ooh, slides inside. Mark Manfredi was in line for the win last night when he left the game at 2-1. We didn't finish, and it ended 2-2. The 1-0, swing and a miss. You could hear the bat whistling there, well behind it. Picard has allowed 4 batters in this game to reach. Everybody else retired. 1-1, checked his swing, that's low.
I think the worst part about ties is when I have to go back in my scorecard and cross out the winning pitcher, the losing pitcher, and the save. It's like it just feels bare.
17th batter to see Picard. Count is 2-2. So he is set down 13 and allowed 4 to reach. Not bad for a guy who has aspirations of playing professionally. That ball goes high. It's now full.
And you can tell he's dialed right now just by his body language. He gets the ball back. He still looks loose out there, but him and Tommy Splane are finally kind of on the same page.
Full count. Here comes. Oh, he got him. That was a nasty pitch from Picard. He struck out Green twice. Bottom two in this lineup have now struck out 3 times. The other one in that bottom spot is Patrick Forbes. He'll get an at-bat here.
Picard is a track man beauty. They love, I mean, the stuff he has is just disgusting.
Ooh, hard hit up the middle, and nothing Picard could do about that. He had the beautiful snag earlier, but even Coleman couldn't stop that ball from getting up. Base hit for Forbes. Resets the lineup. Here's Will Turner.
And obviously performance matters, and Picard has performed. But when I say the whole trackman thing, these scouts and the GMs and everybody evaluating Picard for the upcoming draft, they're looking at his pitches. How well are his pitches going to play at the next level? And you can predict a lot based off of these metrics, and he's got them.
Ball low.
He has 4 pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. And 3 of them, the fastball, the curveball, and the slider, are all plus pitches. The changeup is something that he's still working on, but the curveball and the slider can definitely play at the next level.
Coleman, a transfer, as we mentioned, from Hartford to Bryant, has seen his share of summer ball. We've talked about, or Amanda talked about, how wonderful it is for him to be able to have his family here. Ooh, that pitch had some kind of break. It just misses inside. It's 3-0. I don't even know if the camera can pick up some of the beauty of this. It's something you almost have to watch live. We get to see it a couple times this summer. Finally delivers a strike, 3-1. Batter's Will Turner has a hitter's count. Slashes one to third. It takes a weird hop off JC's mitt. It's going to go down as a single.
Third baseman, number 1.
Nothing JC could do to stop that. It kind of rolled up his arm, it looked like, and popped out.
Yeah, he did what any infielder's taught to do. He's staying down on the ball, and it took a late hop on him, and he did a great job of adjusting his body, adjusting his glove to try to snare it, but ultimately that ball was hit hard off the bat, so not much that he could do, and he's not going to get ruled with the error, and I don't think he should there because he did pretty much everything he could to knock it down.
Coleman climbs the bump facing Davis Diaz. To short, Murillo dives, can't get it. Base hit left field for Wallace, and he won't even try to throw him out. So scoring is Forbes. Picard gives up his first run of the day, 3 consecutive hits for the Whitecaps. Brings up Ike Irish, and this is where the leash gets a little short. Third time around, and it's clear these guys are not going to go down as easily the third time as they did the first and second.
Well, the Gatemen are a little short pitchers tonight. Lucas Malstead and Danny Frontera, 2 guys that were going to be hot tonight for the Gatemen, were released for separate reasons last night, so the Gatemen have to be careful with the pitching staff today.
Just misses a touch inside. Yoel Tejeda threw not even a full inning last night. You wonder if maybe he could get a second chance to come in here.
Well, Jake Faraday is warming up in the Gatemen bullpen as we speak.
The 1-0. Swings and misses 1-1. It's not the worst night to be shorthanded, given you've got a 5-run cushion and a 4-run cushion now, and an off day tomorrow. You could use somebody tonight shortly and then use them again on Wednesday. Picard looking in. First base side of the rubber he deals. Ready. And brings a 1-1.
You can tell Coleman's starting to get a little tired out there on the mound. His body language isn't showing it, but the sharpness this inning, especially with his fastball, has not been there compared to the first 4 innings. His fastball's gotten hit around a little bit today.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
And what do you do when they're timed onto the fastball? You pull the string and go with the changeup, and that was a fantastic breaking ball from Coleman, going about 5 or 6 miles an hour off of his fastball. Good dip on it, and he got a swing and a miss.
6 p.m. start on Wednesday with the YD Red Sox. Riley Eichhoff gets his first start of the summer, second appearance. The 2-2. Low. And then Thursday at White House Field, we'll see Casey Talent go again. He was wonderful in his first start. At this point, with the departure of Manfredi and a couple others, the Gatemen are going to be looking for guys that can go long. You know, guys that can eat up 5 innings, maybe even 6 with a start. Payoff from Picard. Incoming. Runners go. Breaking ball. Rings him up. 2 down. No throw, so Turner and Diaz go up 90 feet. Ike Irish over 3 now.
Designated hitter number 48,
Sets up Trevor Werner, 2 out, 2 on.
Werner in his first big game versus Bourne had 6 RBIs, all coming with 2 outs. Had a 2-run double and a grand slam. So Splane is out there going to the mound, talking to Coleman Picard, telling him, you got first base open and you got to be real careful with this guy because he knows a thing or two about putting a loud sound on a baseball.
While they do that, here's a look at the Cape League scoreboard. 5 games in action. Katuitt, losing 2 in a row for the first time this season, has bounced back. They're up 5-2, bottom of the 8th at Lowell Park against Orleans. Top of the 5th at Doran Park. Harwich 3, Bourne 1. Harwich on their way to remaining in first place at least for another night. Arnie Allen Diamond, it's the top of the first, 1-0 Hyannis and Falmouth. Curveball in for a strike. We should mention that's Hyannis versus Falmouth, and Hyannis is winning 1-0. And they're just underway, bottom of the first in Chatham. No score between the YD Red Sox, Wednesday's opponent, and the Chatham Anglers. Picard's 0-1. Swings and misses 0-2.
We talk about the scouts and Picard's draft potential. They're looking at this right here. You're at the end of your outing, 2 runners in scoring position. Things have not gone exactly your way here in the 5th. How can you bounce back against the middle of the Brewster lineup?
0-2, 2 on, 2 out. Big pitch coming. Ooh, just outside, 1-2.
Sam Fenn has been consistent. He's not calling pitches on that corner, and that's all you can ask for if you're a batter or you're a pitcher, is that the home plate umpire is consistent with what he's calling and what he's not.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Chest high set for Picard, who slings it. Swing and a miss. What a finish for Coleman Picard. In back-to-back innings, he gets out of a jam. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 runners are left on base. 4.5 in the books, and it's 5-1 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back to Spillane Field. Here's a 5-1 Gatemen lead. Things going very well. And for more on the hats that the Gatemen are wearing tonight, here's Amanda Foster. Amanda?
Well, guys, there's a bit of a change to the Gatemen uniform so far tonight. If you look out there, they're wearing the camo baseball hats that they first wore Friday night for Red Shirt Friday. They won that game, so they decided to keep wearing them, and they haven't lost yet. Last night was a tie, but that's not a loss, so they're going to keep wearing them, Ryan Smith said. Smythe, as I talked to him yesterday, said they're going to keep wearing them until they lose. He said anything that can get the guys going in a season like this, in a stretch like this, when they're playing 14 games in 15 days, they're going to do it, and they're going to hope that it works, and so far it has been.
Well, so far it has. The Gatemen have themselves a 5-1 lead. And Jack, new pitcher for Brewster.
Josh Sanders' day is done after 4 innings. He got tagged for 3 runs in the 4th. He gives way to Brennan Phillips, the 6-foot lefty. His only appearance here on the Cape, Last Monday against Wareham, an inning and 2/3, 1 earned run on 0 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 1.
Center fielder number 16.
Well, he's going to face the top of the lineup. Gatemen turn it over again. Stevenson, McLean, Hussey, a combined 0 for 6 tonight. But this would be a heck of a time to change it up. Gatemen 5, Brewster 1. We're in the last of the 5th. Ball is outside. Stevenson, a strikeout and a ground out. Brandon Phillips out of Oklahoma State. 9.69 ERA this season in 6 starts and 10 appearances. 22 strikeouts, 12 walks. One. Hard hit to short, right in the glove of Green. And he throws out Stevenson. That was a hard hit ball, but not good enough to get Stevenson on base. Now 0 for 7 the top 3 are. Here's Nick McLean.
15, Nick McLean from Arizona State.
Righty hitter. Though we switch hits. First pitch to him. In for a strike.
Phillips, fastball, slider, and changeup. Throws the fastball about 50% of the time. The changeup is kind of his out pitch, so he's not bad against righties.
The 0-1 offering is tap foul 0-2. McLean, was it last night that he switched during the middle of an at-bat?
No, I believe that was, what's today, Monday? I think that was.
The days all blend together at this point.
I think it was sometime last week, but I know what you're talking about.
He switched in the middle of an at-bat during a pitch change. 0-2 is fouled away. He cannot do it just normally. He can't do it here, but he can do it if there's a new pitcher brought into the game. And we've certainly seen him the last couple of nights on both sides of the plate. The 0-2. Popped up foul, left side. He is such a skilled hitter. I brought up earlier how well he and his brother Matt did yesterday. By the end of the day, the McLean family combined for 6 hits and 8 at-bats with 7 runs batted in. That's pretty darn impressive. High fly ball, right side foul territory. Irish drifting back towards fair territory makes the catch for out number 1.
I believe it was YD on Thursday. Smith Pinson, and then going Landon Vital Shees, righty to lefty.
First baseman number 27, Grant Hussey from West Virginia.
The top 3 are now 0 for 8. And here's Grant Hussey to try and fix that out of West Virginia. Put bat on ball with a ground out to first last at bat. Try to change that now. Looping breaking ball misses 1-0. One 0, 2-0. So Phillips, a very successful start. 2 outs so far. Mentioned, didn't really throw too much against the Gatemen, poked foul. So you wonder if Jamie Shevchak keeps him in or maybe yanks him after an inning or so. Again, Brewster doesn't have the off day tomorrow. They don't have the luxury that Wareham does. Tapped into the glove of Leach. And Hussey now at a 2-2 count. Two to the first baseman. Off the end of the bat. By the glove of Sanders. Charging Green. Throws. Not in time. It's well late. Hussey hustles it out. First hit from anybody in the top 3 of this lineup. Sets up David Glancy, who has scored both times he's gotten on base today, which is in both at-bats. Single in the second. walk in the fourth. Lancey's had 2 tremendous at-bats. And not only that, but the guys behind him in the heart of the order have helped him out too, brought him in twice.
David Glancy this season, 3 for 9 against lefties.
Oh, 1. Righty hitter. Hussey on first base. Lights have been on at Spillane for a while. It's one of those nights that is getting dark a little earlier than I think was expected. Still seeing a slight chance of thunderstorms throughout the night, but doesn't seem like the rain's going to come till a little bit later once we're done here. The 1-1, outside 2-1. Wareham 5, Brewster 1. Good to have you with us on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jack Hunter, Amanda Foster. I'm Aiden Blanc. The pitch. It was a little inside for Glancy's taste, but it was a strike nonetheless. It's 2-2.
Good changeup. That thing, according to TrackMan, had 19 inches of horizontal break, so you can see why it appeared to be inside, but it had a lot of late movement on it getting back to the plate.
2-2, shot to center, backtracking underneath it. Turner. Inning comes to an end with an F8. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner is left on base. 6th inning is next on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We want you on our team.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. In-person and online classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in accounting, criminal justice, education, nursing, and our new 100% online MBA, visit curry.edu.
Rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military and veterans. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more. Welcome back to Spillane Field. Jake Faherty takes over. Coleman Picard, though, a great start, Jack, and he's in line for a win.
He is. He left the game after 5 innings, got touched a little bit in the 5th. He's going to leave the game giving up 6 hits and 1 run. A lot of strikeouts, little walks. That's what we talked about, and Coleman has got to be proud of the way he pitched tonight.
Jake Faherty from Arkansas, Fayetteville.
So here is Arkansas's Jake Faherty. Jake completing his freshman season at Arkansas, a little banged up, had some injury issues.
Yeah, well, over the 2 years he's played for Arkansas, he hasn't really pitched very much. His freshman year didn't throw that much. This year, his sophomore year, kind of hoping he would break out a little bit more, but suffered an injury in early March, and unfortunately that kind of shut him down for the rest of the year. But the injury he suffered, it was kind of some nerve damage in his shoulder. Usually not something you come back from in 2 or 3 months, but Faherty is back. He said he's feeling 100%, and he looked like he was feeling 100% in Falmouth the last time he pitched.
Yeah, and you look at his numbers in that Falmouth game, and maybe on their own they're not that impressive. Only an inning and a third, gives up a run, 3 walks, and only 7 batters faced. But he struck out 2. And in that game, compared to the rest of the staff in that game, he pitched pretty darn well. You know, that was a game that maybe the Gatemen would like to forget about, and they pretty much have.
Control's just a big thing.
Ball is outside, 1-0. He touches 96 on the first pitch he throws. Speed has never been an issue with him. He can throw some mean stuff. It's just a matter of where it lands in the zone. Lowers below the belt and deals. There you go, 95 tapped into the glove of the catcher Splane. Let's see what he can do with a 1-1. He's facing Dylan Leach, the catcher. Ooh. Well, there's the control. Whips it inside. I thought it hit Leach. It did. He was a little late to get down to first. So, here's Ian Brettauer.
52, Ivan Brettauer from California at
And
Santa
Ivan
Ana.
has a chance to move his friend Leach up 90 feet. Faherty hitting his first batter faced. And now Brettauer, the righty, pops it foul. 92.
Coleman Picard's final line, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 7 punch-outs.
And it's going to be a big difference here with Faherty versus Picard. Picard can throw fast, but that's not what he's mostly going to go to. That's not his, main pitch. 0-1 is tapped foul at 0-2. Faherty has thrown every single pitch so far above 90 miles an hour. He's thrown all but one pitch above 95 miles an hour. So the Whitecaps are going to have to shorten up a little. They're going to have to change their hitting approach as they face maybe the hardest thrower in this Gatemen bullpen. The 0-2. Low and outside. Oh, there's a delayed steal. It's a bad throw. Didn't get him. Splane's throw was high. Murillo came sprinting in. Leach took off late. Gets a stolen base anyway. And now Brettauer in a 1-2 count, trying to bring home a run. Set for Faherty. The 1-2. Checked his swing. Did he go? He did. So Faherty mows down his first batter. It's his third strikeout in 2 outings. As we mentioned, he struck out 2 of the 3 outs that he, 2 of the 3 outs he made at Falmouth were strikeouts. So when he's on, he's on. That last pitch at 97. Here's Mason White, one of the best hitters in this Brewster lineup, 1-0. At least collegiately, not necessarily here. Only a 143 average, and today he's 0 for 2. Faherty sets. And deals. Checked his swing. Did he go? He did. It advances Leach up to third base. Brings up Mason White with a 1-0 count now, or 1-1. Quick conversation with Faherty and Splane. A shout out to our wonderful friends at Wareham Community Television, as always making the picture look good on this Monday night. Happy to see them. We'll see them again on Wednesday and Saturday, YD and Falmouth respectively, the next 2 home games. And then after that, July 4th, here against the Bourne Braves. Good old rivalry. Settling in to resume this at bat. Ready for a 1-1. On the way. Outside. Gets to the backstop. There is no throw home. Scampering in is Leach. Scores a run. 5-2. And White now has a 2-1 count.
The thing for Faherty is it's not even really, just missing a little bit off the corner here and there. There have been some pitches he's thrown that have just really not been competitive, and that's something here in the Cape League that you can't really get away with.
2-1. Pitch on the way to the left-hand hitter. Fouls it into Splane's glove, 2-2. Two and two. Jake sets and delivers. Check swing in front of the mound. Faherty fields, weird hop. They get him at first. Hussey hangs on the bag.
Heck of a play by both parties involved for Faherty. That ball had some spin on it to call off the catcher Splane, pick it up with the bare hand cleanly, and then Grant Hussey fielding a 100-mile-an-hour strike from about 15 feet away. That's pretty impressive, and still being able to stay on the bag and get the out.
Brings up Peyton Green, shortstop. 0 for 2. One ball and no strikes. Velocity-wise, again, Faherty's one of the hardest throwers they got in the bullpen. I've seen all but one pitch go above 90. Be a 1-0 on the way to the right-hand hitter. Breaking ball, 1-1. That one at 82. It's more of a changeup than anything. Another one he takes some off of. Popped in the air. Hussey looking over his shoulder. Drops in. Oh, but they got him at second base. Throw is in time. Green got greedy and turns a single into the third out. No run, one hit, no errors, none left. They hose him out to conclude the inning. We go to the last of the sixth on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Last of the sixth inning on the Gatemen Baseball Network. With Jack Hutter, I'm Aiden Blanc. Jake Faherty gets out of his first inning of work, giving up just one run. And now the Gatemen offense trying to steal that run back. Landon Wallace, a dangerous at-bat in the fourth, ended with a home run and fouls one off hard to start his third at-bat of the night. Wallace hit by a pitch and a home run, so he's reached base twice. He's only run the bases once. Wallace, Murillo, Splane. And Landon fooled way out in front of it, 0-2. No balls and two strikes. Wallace, a 308 hitter, fouls it away.
Good two-strike approach by Landon Wallace. You see Mike Mobbs in the third base coach's box clapping for him. He gets set a little earlier, gets the foot down a little earlier, trying to see it earlier so he can adjust and react here in a two-strike count.
Lifting to 0-2. Oh, it hit him. Wallace is hit for the second time tonight, and look at that. He's just eager to get on base. Doesn't care how he does it. That's the attitude you love to see.
And Leach got nailed by that pitch as well. It hit Wallace, then hit him, so he's going to be a little slow to get up. But if it's an 0-2 count and you get hit, it doesn't matter how much it hurts. You're going to be running to first with a smile on your face because that's kind of a free pass handed out by Phillips there. He had him one pitch away from a strikeout and then dropped the bat, run to first.
Batter Sebastian Murillo. F9. And a 6-3 putout under his name. Does have an RBI, though, because that F9 was a sac fly. Wallace on first, the pitch. Inside 1-0.
And Sebastian, in my opinion, had the most impressive part of the play to get Green out at second to end the top of the sixth. It was a good throw by McLean, but it was low, and it took a short hop on Murillo. And he fielded the short hop and made the tag in a span of about a second. It was a crazy fast play from Sebastian.
Ball and no strikes. The pitch. High, pops out of the glove of Leach. Another inning of work for Phillips. Very successful his first time around, retiring 3 of 4. 5-2 game. Runner on first, bottom of the 6th. 2-0 count. The Georgia shortstop. Right-hand hitter. The pitch. Golfs one left field. This should go fair. It will go fair and roll to the fence. Wallace is flying. He wants to score. He's going to cross third. He's coming home, and he's in. RBI double for Sebastian Murillo, and the Gatemen get another run back. It's now 6-2 here in the last of the 6th inning.
When we talk about the most valuable players on the team, I don't think Sebastian Murillo's name gets brought up enough. For what he does defensively alone, saves this team probably a run or two a night. And then on the offensive side, he's kind of been an RBI machine this year, slowly but surely. And you love to see him get the power going right there. That is his 9th hit of the season and his first extra base hit.
Splane 1 for 2. First Gateman hit back in the 4th. It'd be fun to see him this summer. A guy who, as we learned last night, can play multiple positions. Taking a strike 0-1.
Well, if you've seen him at Arizona, you know that too. He started almost 50 games at first base his freshman year. His sophomore year this year, a little bit more injury-riddled, but caught primarily. So just based off of his college experience, you know you can play catcher in first base.
0-1. Runners on second base. Inside. Wonderful block by Leach. And you know Murillo is ready to move up.
And for Splane, too, he was recruited to Arizona as a pitcher as well.
One. Runner on second base. The pitch. Gonzalez waiting on deck. Just outside now, 3-1. Three balls and a strike. Nobody out. Runner on second base, rather. Phillips readies and delivers high for ball 4. So here comes Dorian Gonzalez.
Second baseman, number 17, Dorian Gonzalez from the University
Dorian
of Miami.
out of Miami, who has been in search of a head coach. They just found it in J.D. Ortega. He was the associate head coach this past season, as well as the pitching coach. And he's been an assistant for 21 seasons, so he's more than earned it. I know there were discussions about potentially hiring Chris Pollard from Duke. Didn't want to leave. But at the end of the day, they hire a 21-year assistant, and Dorian said he's excited to play for him. So all smiles in Hurricane land right now. Bunts it first base side, down the line, charging, fielding. Diaz throws him out. First out of the inning, does move runners to second and third, though. Great bunt by Dorian.
It's a great team at bat, or in that case, a plate appearance by Dorian Gonzalez. We talked about how the Gatemen had been working on bunting before the game. Gonzalez had not had a lot of success against lefties so far, and David Glancy, the first one to meet him out of the dugout. He's going to get high fives because now the Gatemen have 2 runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and those are situations that you want to be in here in the ball game.
Batter now is J.C. Cologne out of Missouri. He takes it high.
And this league forces you to play small ball because when you put the wood in the hands, you get these bigger ballparks, you can't play the same game that you do in college. And so this requires getting runners on, getting runners over, and getting runners in. All 3 of them at a premium here in this league, and you got to be able to bunt.
1-0 is high, 2-0. Yeah, if you're a good bunter, you'll do very well here. They clearly expect Cologne to do something similar because the infield is all the way in.
Well, their infield is in, so if they get a ground ball, they can go home with it. If they're back, they're conceding a run.
The 2-0. Ooh, he whiffs at that, 2-2. Oh, the throw's back, coming back to the mound. Play at the plate. It pops out of the glove of Leach. Sebastian Murillo slides hard into home plate. And the Gatemen get a run, 7-2. That wasn't the most common way to do it. Murillo kind of crashed into Leach at home plate. And had Leach, held the ball, that's an easy out. But, oh boy.
You don't see it often, but it's going to go down as an error on Dylan Leach. And the run is going to come around and score Murillo. Depending on how this inning turns out, that run could be earned or unearned.
There was no other advancement. Diane Quayle, right field, and caught out there by Forbes. It's an F9. Splane did not advance, and he doesn't advance there either. But the Gatemen so far have been doing great things offensively. Feels like you mentioned the splits home and road offensively. Their bats are just so conditioned to Spillane Field. Off the inside of the bat, Nubber, right field dropping quick and down on Forbes. Crossing and scoring is Splane. The throw goes up the line. It's 8-2 Wareham.
Get him while you can. It wasn't the hardest hit ball, but we've seen Brewster do it a few times tonight. Found the right area to hit it to. And he'll take the RBI, another 3 spot in the inning. You can sense these guys in the dugout are just having a ton of fun together, and chemistry, something really important.
Breaking ball lands in the zone. Gatemen have now scored 23 runs in less than 3 games here at home. We haven't even finished this one. Up the middle, dying in center, down on Turner. Advances Stevenson. And the Gatemen bats just continuing. This is a very different game than what felt like a steal against the Brewster Whitecaps. The last time they played at Brewster, where they crossed 4 runs, and I think Ryan Smythe will be the first to tell you they were lucky to do that. Tonight, the floodgates have opened. Multiple multi-run innings, multiple 3-run innings, and the inning's still not over. Here's Grant Hussey. You can tell Phillips is kind of just a placeholder here. Brewster obviously not giving up, but there's action in the bullpen. It's clear they want to see if he can just get him one more out. Get him out of this inning. They don't get the off day tomorrow like a lot of the league does. 1-1 now.
They only used 3 pitchers last night, so it's not like they're fried from last night, but you got to plan days in advance in this league to make sure on a day-to-day basis you got enough arms.
1-1 is on the way. Oh, that is roped to right field. Back it goes. What a fun catch by Forbes out there in right. It's an F9 to end the inning, but the Gatemen do get 3 runs. They come on 3 hits, 1 error, and a pair of runners left on base. Final 3 on the way. We'll take you back to Jack when we come back. Tom and Gene Yawkey were passionate about baseball. Over 7 decades as owners of the Boston Red Sox, the Yawkeys greatly invested in youth and amateur athletics. They recognize the important skills baseball can bring to players both on and off the field. The Yawkey Foundation has been proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League for more than 25 years.
As a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing. From the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 100 years of Cape Cod baseball and 100 more.
Back here at Spillane Field, time to go home. Final 3 innings. Here's Jack.
Thank you, Aiden. Jake Faherty's day is done after an inning. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, 0 walks, and 1 strikeout. And for the second time this season, Ryan Smythe turns the ball over to the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer, the 6'1" lefty, Bryson Schaefer.
Now pitching for the Gatemen, number 35.
Schaefer most recently pitched against the Chatham Anglers on Friday at home. Came in relief of Brett Wachowski. Fired 2 scoreless frames, did not allow a hit. Walked 1 and struck out 1. And for the Whitecaps this inning, Forbes, Turner, and Diaz. That's 9-1-2 due up in the top half of the 7th. Your score, Wareham 8, Brewster 2. Wareham has lived with the big inning today, 3 in the 4th and 3 in the 6th. That last inning, 3 runs on 3 hits. 1 error committed by Brewster, and the 4th inning was also on 3 hits as well. A Gateman with 8 hits total today, continuing to have success here at home.
Schaefer is a guy that you could see start. I would guess it would be odd if we didn't see him start at some point. He went 6 innings in his last appearance with Coastal this season against the Duke Blue Devils. And that was, I believe, the regional final
Number 17, Patrick Forbes
at Coastal's home ballpark. 6.27 ERA in 51 2/3 innings, so the numbers are there. He is a work guy, or at least was this spring.
That was the game before the final. Remember, Coastal Carolina did not get out of their own regional. He pitched in the game they won.
Right.
First pitch fouled off by Forbes in the 9-hole. Now, Schaefer was only a guy that made 3 starts this year for Coastal Carolina. He came out of the bullpen 25 times. Considering you've got a bullpen with a lot of guys that have made a lot of starts this year, I feel like he wouldn't be at the top of the list, but who knows as the summer goes along. 0-1 misses low and away. As we mentioned, Patrick Forbes, scheduled to start tomorrow at home versus the Orleans Firebirds, has been getting the arm loose in right field tonight. The Louisville Cardinal loops 1 to center field. Coming in is Stevenson, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. So a broken bat single gets us started here in the 7th inning. That's the first hit that Bryson Schaefer has conceded here this summer. And now back to the top of the lineup with Will Turner. Turner, the outfielder, center field today. He's 2 for 3. First pitch to him is a strike right down the middle. Turner started the first 5 games this year. Suffered a little bit of a wrist injury.
Tom and Gene Yawkey.
Replacement in the last few games, back here in the starting lineup tonight, and was last night as well. He was 2nd team All Sun Belt this past year. Led the Jaguars in batting average, extra base hits, and ribbies. Had a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Schaefer eyeing Forbes down, and his breaking ball misses outside. to first. Backhanded by Hussey. Murillo is able to keep his foot on the bag and snare it. That's all they're going to get. A nice play by Sebastian at short to save that ball going into the outfield and get the Gatemen an out.
Third baseman, number 1, Davis Diaz from Vanderbilt.
3 to 6 goes the fielder's choice. Turner replaces Forbes on first base, and here's the Commodore, Davis Diaz.
Kind of an odd pitch there, or an odd fielder's choice, rather. You know, Sebastian kind of lost his footing there at second, slipped. You could tell he was ready to turn two.
Well, the throw was offline. The throw pulled him that way.
Yeah.
Good flexibility and mobility by Murillo to adjust. Schaefer deals. Line back through the middle. Caught by Gonzalez. Snap throw back to first, and it gets by Hussey, and it's going to stop in front of the Brewster dugout. So Turner is going to move up to second base. So it'll be an L4 and then an E4 on Gonzalez that will move Turner up.
First baseman, number 24, Ike Irish from Auburn.
And with 2 outs in the inning, Ike Irish steps back to the dish. The Auburn Tiger 0 for 3. He was 2 for 5 with a double the last time these teams met. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. Irish first pitch. And both umpires, the third base umpire, Mickey Garcia, and Sam Finn, both putting the hands up. Irish was a guy that was not overlooked coming out of high school. He had a lot of eyes on him. It's his senior year at St. Mary's Prep, 44-0 record. A 1 to him is on the outside corner. They won the Perfect Game National Championship, was 2022 Max Preps and Collegiate Baseball First Team All-American, top 40 player in his class. And he waits the 0-2, and a defensive swing, fouled right into the wall of Wareham Middle School, and caught by a lucky fan off the rebound.
That takes some skill because, you know, the wall's in back of everybody. You got to be able to turn around very quickly. You got to be on a swivel.
Schaefer's got the sign. He's ready. And the 0-2 chopped past the mound. Gonzalez gets it on the backhand, and he's going to have to eat it. Off the bat whatsoever, but he's going to get rewarded. That ball was hit 19 miles an hour off the bat, according to our friends at TrackMan.
Well, that was just weird play there.
That's baseball.
Yeah.
Here's Trevor Werner. Talked about Werner, how he sparked the Brewster offense. His first 2 games with the team, he was 0 for 7. And then you've got a guy, Grant Hussey, standing at first base that was in first place in the Cape, and RBIs in a single game was 6. Werner matched that against Bourne on Saturday. He takes a strike. Had a 2-run single in the 3rd inning and then broke the game open with a grand slam later on, finishing with 6 RBIs, which matched Hussey's total on Friday versus the Chatham Anglers. 0-1 on the way. Big swing and a miss. A nice changeup from Schaefer gets Werner. Werner, the Texas A&M Aggie. One of the older guys here. Just finishing his true senior season. Has that extra year of eligibility because of the COVID-19 pandemic. 0-2. Fouled out of play. Brewster has been working good at bats here. They are down 6, but we've seen in this league, we've seen with this team, you're never really out of the game until the last out is made. The cleanup hitter still fighting. Slight waggle of the bat. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Schaefer works around some trouble here in the 7th, leaves unscathed, and it's time to stretch things out here from Spillane Field. Your score, Wareham 8 and Brewster 2 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
First prize up tonight, the Highline Canal Cruise.
competitive pay, state-of-the-art facilities, and opportunities in service, sales, accounting, HR, marketing, IT, and more, a job at Milton Cat, the Northeast Caterpillar dealer, is more than a career choice, it's a choice career. Visit miltoncat.com/careers to join their growing team.
Summer, our players are able to track and monitor their development thanks to our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary, Baseball Cloud, whose data tells the whole story. Baseball Cloud gives fans like you the opportunity to access each player's stats and historical data. Baseball Cloud technology is ushering the next 100 years of the Cape Cod Baseball League, inspiring and exciting the next generation of players and fans. Learn more at baseballcloud.com.
Back to the bullpen, Jamie Shevchik goes here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Brandon Phillips' day is done after 2 innings, conceded 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. Andrew Schaffner will be the new pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps. He's appeared in 2 games this year. June 21st versus Orleans, pitched an inning, did not give up a run on 1 hit. And for Hyannis, earlier, 3 scoreless innings, faced the minimum 9 batters and picked up the save. Just finished his first year at NC State. And a righty scheduled to face Glancy, Wallace, and Murillo here in the bottom of the 7th. Alongside our producers Rachel Manning and Braden Shank, and my broadcast partner Aiden Blanc, glued on the College World Series. Jack Hunter here with you.
It didn't seem like much of a game. 7-2, and LSU just scored an 8th run. It's okay.
Does Wareham,
what a great season of college baseball.
Does Wareham Gatemen legend Paul Skeens?
So he didn't start.
No.
And given that they're up 8-2, I'm wondering if he maybe only comes in to close or something. Yeah, he did not get the start today.
First pitch to Glancy, fouled up, out of play.
I guess that makes Josh Stevenson a national champion if they win, right?
Yeah. Glancy spits on it.
I asked if he was going to get any cool stuff if they won. He wasn't sure, because he is obviously in the portal.
1-1, slider outside. Line and fire. Now a 3-1 count. And Glancy works a walk here to lead off the bottom of the 7th. So Glancy was all stretched out, and he's going to take the slow trot to first base.
David's had a great day, 3rd time on base.
From West Virginia.
He's let a lot of the guys behind him have done the heavy lifting, but he set them up. Right? He's scored twice. He's gotten on base.
Here's Landon Wallace. Wallace has reached base all 3 times, has a hit batter sandwich working, got hit in the 2nd and the 6th, homered in the 4th, and he takes a first pitch low and in. Landon had a little bit of a slow start to begin his Gateman tenure, but has picked things up and has picked things up fast. Coming into tonight, 4 for 13 on the season with a home run. Has added on to that total here tonight. Now 5 for 14. Runner goes, pitches inside, throw down to second from Leach. Will skip past the second baseman White.
Good backup. Good backup by Green though in center field. That's why you have the shortstop or the second baseman back up.
David Glancy already stole a base earlier. That's his 8th stolen bag of the season. And now he's in scoring position for Landon Wallace. Wallace spent 2 years at Nevada before transferring to West Virginia. And he takes a hearty swing and miss. Resting the bat on the shoulder. Shot foul. Just past the fence. Kid picking it up down there. So we got a little Sebastian Spinelli over there taking a picture with Sebastian Murillo on deck. Sebastian
I
Murillo
like that.
gave little Sebastian his batting gloves the other night. Little friendship going there, the two sharing a name.
They're just chatting. That's why you got to love summer ball. The players are so loose. You know, they played their college season. You know, the hard part of the year is over. They're just, you know, hanging out, getting ready for fall ball.
3-2 on the way. Wallace spits on it, and he's reached base in all 4 of his plate appearances tonight.
I actually saw, did you see this on Twitter that, hang on, let me get the full story, because I want to make sure we got it right.
From Georgia.
So Murillo at the plate. Schaffner has struggled here. He's walked his first 2 batters. He faced Schaffner, like we mentioned, a member of the NC State Wolfpack, who sends a strong contingency of players here to play for Brewster specifically. Delivers a big swing and a miss from Sebastian Murillo. Murillo had an RBI double, his first extra base hit of the season in the 6th inning. Grounded out to shortstop in the 4th and had a big-time sac fly in the 2nd to get the first run across. And he sends it back. Sebastian Murillo, a guy that it's hard to measure his value because of how well he has fielded the baseball. Spent a few seasons at Long Beach State playing for the Dirtbags, made the cross-country trip to Athens. He is now playing for the Georgia Bulldogs. And he's ready for the 0-2. Glancy's running. Pitch is fouled out of play. Wallace trailing behind him, and Landon's done that another time tonight. So good heads-up base running from Landon Wallace to follow the lead runner. But both will have to retreat. It's Wareham 8 and Brewster 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. With Aiden Blanc, Jack Hunter here with you at Spillane Field. The Gatemen looking to pick up their 6th win at home this year. They are 5-2 here at Spillane Field. Murillo working the at-bat, fouling it right side out of play. The Gatemen struck first in the bottom of the 2nd, playing some good small ball. A sac fly from Murillo and a ground out from Splane after Glancy and Wallace both reached base before them. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A good fastball a little bit off the outer edge, and Murillo goes down swinging. It's Schaffner's first strikeout.
Catcher number 28, Tommy Splane.
And that'll bring
from
Tommy
the
Splane to the
University
plate.
of Arizona.
Splane with his first hit tonight in a Wareham uniform in game number 2, his first game behind the plate. Rests that bottom finger above the bat to keep himself loose. First pitch to him is a slider outside. Over the last 2 seasons, Splane has played in just over 80 games for Chip Hale's Arizona Wildcats. Glancy's going. Both runners are going in. Leach drops the ball. How about another stolen base for David Glancy? That's 3 here tonight. And Wallace right behind him gets another one as well. So now 9 stolen bases on the year for David Glancy. He's had 2 games where he's had multiple stolen bases, including on opening day.
All right, so I've got the story. So it's the Ashboro Zookeepers of the Coastal Plains League.
And it hits Splane. Base is now loaded.
And they went to, I can't remember what field it was, but there was no bullpen. Or at least there was, but there was no covering, right? So they improvised. And I completely forget what they used, maybe a tarp or something. They built like a bullpen overhang in the stands, and they were just sitting in the stands the whole game.
Huh. Summer ball shenanigans.
Yeah.
Gonzalez shoots one left field. Brett Howard's going back. He'll make the grab, but this is going to get Glancy in from third. Wallace advances 90 feet. And Dorian Gonzalez continues to do a job. A sack bunt in the 6th, a sack fly here in the 7th, and the Gatemen are up 9-2. Another team at bat from Dorian Gonzalez. And those team at bats, they really add up. I mean, they really contribute to winning baseball. And the Gatemen now with a 7-run advantage. Here's Cologne, looking for his first knock of the day, and he takes a fastball on the outer half. The hitting coach, Mike Mobbs, and JC have been working a lot. JC's trying to see the ball a little bit more, shoot it the other way, and kind of stabilize his hands a little bit. 0-1 in the dirt. JC, a guy that always has fun with the game. Always a guy that's going to play loose, keep a smile on his face, can play on the left side of the infield. Has been taming the little shuffle / crouch he does in between pitches, and he fouls it back. Stevenson at the top of the order on the on-deck circle. 1 for 4 on the evening. Cologne ready to go. Schaffner, the righty, with 2 outs in the inning. Runner goes, swing and a miss, foul tip, and Cologne is down on strikes. But the Gatemen get another run across off of no hits. They leave 2 stranded. It's time to go to the 8th. It's now 9-2 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Back to the 8th, and here's the 3rd member of our crew, Amanda Foster. Amanda?
Well, guys, there's a lot of history between this game. Coach Shevchik and Coach Smythe coached together at Brewster last year. They coach at Keystone together. I'm sure you've covered all of the history here. I had the chance to talk to both of them in the game that the Wareham Gatemen played against Brewster at Brewster, and both coaches said that they didn't really consider this a rivalry until they got to the championship game. Clearly, they have a lot of talent and a lot of high ambitions for both of their teams, but tonight it seems like the Gatemen have this one almost locked up. Back to you.
Thank you, Amanda. And yeah, talking to Ryan Smythe after the first meeting between these two, I was kind of asking him how he felt about the fact that Brewster, the runner, got picked off in the 10th inning, and he's like, I'm not bragging about ties. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, he wants to get some wins over Brewster, and especially if they play late in the season, it's not going to be a true rivalry until championship time, as Amanda referred to. But a great story here in the Cape. You've got 2 coaches at Keystone College. Shevchik, who's been a mentor of Smythe throughout his career, gave him his first coaching opportunity. And Smythe now serving as his associate head coach.
And wouldn't that be something if, you know, by some luck, these 2 teams were to meet in the championship, and you were to have 2 guys that are playing against each other and then going back for fall ball to coach with each other?
Schaefer's first pitch to Leach is in there for strike 1. Leach, the switch hitter, turning around and hitting from the right side for the first time this evening. Got hit and scored in his last at-bat in the 6th. Was facing off against Jake Faraday. A different pitcher here in Bryson Schaefer. And another swing and miss. You got Faraday, a hard-throwing righty, can struggle with control. And then you've got Schaefer, a lefty, more of a soft tosser that's got good control, manipulates the baseball, and changes speeds very effectively. Behind in the count, 0 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, grounder to 3rd. Cologne snags it. It's going to have to make the long throw. Hussey tag, not in time. It's going to go down as an infield single for Leach.
Left fielder number 52,
it's a long throw for Cologne to make, and he pulls Hussey off the bag. Now here's the Gaucho, Ivan Brethauer. He's reached base twice today, struck out in his last at-bat. Pick back to first. Back in safely is Leach. Brethauer from Kansas takes a big swing and a miss. Coming into action today, 1 for 8 on the season. Had scored once, struck out 5 times. Did not play the last time these two teams met. He struggled yesterday, went 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs. Obviously a big guy, 6'6", 245 pounds. Schaefer back to first, slap tag, not in time. Brethauer will be followed by Mason White and Peyton Green. A 1-1 on the outside corner, says Sam Finn. Our umpire, Sam Finn, the crew chief. Behind the plate, Mickey Garcia at third, and Brian Maguger is at first. Fouled off right side. Both of these clubs coming in at 6-6-2 on the season. Both 4 points out of first place.
Katuitt did win today.
Hey, Katuitt. They get back in the win column after 2 straight losses. One of them to the Wareham Gatemen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Bryson Schaefer. This one coming across at 82 on the gun.
Well, hasn't he done really well in his last bunch of innings?
Mason White from Arizona.
All right, well, while we were on the topic of scoreboard, Mason White's going to stand in. Katuitt beat Orleans 5-2. A lot of late games going on, I feel like, across the Cape League.
Bunt shown. Fouled off into the Gateman dugout. Glancy almost picked it in there.
5-3 Bourne over Harwich. Top of the 8th at Doran Park. It'd be a big win for Bourne. Maybe not what you want to see if you're the Gateman. You want to be, you know, Bourne is surging. You want to pull away from them a little. You know, create a little separation in the standings. That's not going to help. But Harwich is the best team in the East right now. That could change. Hyannis 2, Falmouth nothing. Bottom of the 4th. That was the 7 o'clock game. The other 7 o'clock game is then top of the 4th, and YD has just exploded 8-3 against Chatham. Multiple home runs. It's a very good night to be a Red Sox fan. And that's something I don't say lightly.
1-1 fastball is there, and now we've got a 1 ball and 2 strike count.
So YD and Harwich could flip again for the top spot in the East. They're battling.
Bryson Schaefer and his second inning work. The Chanticleer getting set, and the 1-2. Low and out. Schaefer teammates with Riley Eichhoff, who's supposed to start on Wednesday. He's got an intriguing delivery, a guy that spent 2 years at 2 different junior colleges. Freshman year at Polk State, sophomore year at South Florida State College. And he gets another swing and a miss. White was spinning like a ballerina, and he will be the second out of the inning.
Oh, I like that. 3rd strikeout today for Schaefer on the mound. You know, we talked about him starting. If he can be a long reliever guy, that works just as well for the Gatemen, because there will be, you know, a couple of guys to start.
Dylan Hoy, the pinch hitter, chops one to second base. Gonzalez up with it, and to first he goes. So another great inning for Schaefer. A leadoff single gets stranded, and we go now to the bottom of the 8th with Wareham up 9-2.
Fans, if you have the late game
Andrew Schaffner out for his second inning of work for the Brewster Whitecaps. Some defensive changes for Brewster. Dylan Hoy, who just pinch hit and made the last out, he goes to second. White moves to short, and then Vincent Samini is in the game at third base. He will be in the 2-hole replacing Davis Diaz. Stevenson standing in against the right-handed member of the NC State Wolfpack. Stevenson, high fly ball to right field. Forbes coming in, he got a late break on it. He's going to find it and make the grab for out number 1. So to repeat, Dylan Hoy, who pinch hit for Peyton Green, the shortstop. He's in the 8-hole. He's playing second base. Mason White moving to shortstop, and then Samini at third. Nick McLean to the plate now. Schaffner in his third outing of the season. His first inning of work gave up 1 run on 0 hits. McLean back to the left side.
So we had Schaffner and Schaefer?
Yep, Bryson Schaefer for the Gatemen, Andrew Schaffner for the Whitecaps. A hearty cut and miss for McLean.
And all I can see, the difference in the two names is an N.
There we go. This is the broadcast content you're here for.
It's 9-2. What else are we going to talk about? Good night for the Gatemen, though. Man, the last 3 home games have felt like each one has been played really, really well. And against good teams, too.
1-2. The other way, the third baseman, Samini, up with it. High throw, but the first baseman, Ike Irish, able to handle it.
You know, all 3 of these last 3 home games, Brewster, Catuit, Chatham, 3 teams that they did not beat the first time around. You know, Brewster, the only team they didn't lose to. They lost to Catuit and Chatham, and I think it's a very good sign that they have not only, well, assuming they can hold on tonight, and that's, you know, they still got to have 3 outs. Not only will they have beaten these 3 teams, they'll have beaten them pretty well.
First pitch to Hussey, fouled back, and, you know, got some notes saved here for this 9-2 game. Let's get some wonky splits going here.
Okay.
So Brewster is 1-5-1 against teams in their own division this year. They went 15 days without beating a team in their own division before beating Chatham yesterday, strike 2. But they are 5-1-1 against teams from the West. So that's an interesting thing to keep your eye on going forward. Also, as well, big home and road splits, despite having the same exact record. Pitches outside. They are 3-3-1 at home, 3-3-1 on the road. But on the road, they are pitching to a 6.8 ERA through 7 games. And at home, they are pitching to a 2.25 ERA. 1-2. Hit well the other way. The left fielder, Brett Hauer, going back, looking up. This ball's carrying, and it gets off the wall. Hussey coasting into second, sliding in safely. Grant Hussey double, his second hit here in this ball game in the bottom of the 8th. A 2-out rally for Wareham.
Yeah, good night for him. I don't think that counts, though, the wonky split, because you used that on the pregame show.
Didn't go into too much depth.
Okay, well, that's fair.
So here's the funny thing about it is they shut out Chatham yesterday. Josh Timmerman, who we saw at home, pitched well against the Gatemen last week. They shut out Chatham. They're here, and the splits are going to continue. In that they had a 6.80 ERA coming into tonight. That's going to get worse. And the home ERA is obviously not going to get worse. We're better tonight playing on the road. First pitch to David Glancy misses down. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they are on a cold stretch right now, and 5 out of their last 6 games have been against Eastern Division opponents. Their schedule's wonky, too. It's very unbalanced. They played pretty much every game at the beginning of the season against teams from the West, having to travel westward, and now they're playing teams inside their own division and struggling. Glancy shoots one, left center field. Brett Hauer going back to the wall, and he makes the catch in front of one of those banners out there as he falls down in front of the wall. Glancy gave it a ride, but didn't tag it enough. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left, 0 errors committed by the Whitecaps. Let's go to the 9th. The Gatemen 3 outs away from another victory here at Spillane Field. Bryson Schaefer, 3 outs away from his first save with Wareham. He came on in the 7th, has gotten 6 outs, and the rule goes if you pitch 3 or more innings to finish a ball game in which your team has the lead and you're not in line for the win, which he's not, you get the save. So Picard in line for the win. Schaefer needs 3 outs to do so, and in his way to begin the top of the 9th is Patrick Forbes, the Louisville Cardinal. Forbes trying to focus here, not think about the start he's got to make tomorrow versus the Orleans Firebirds, Turner, and then Samini due up to follow. Schaefer pumped home 2 scoreless innings versus Chatham on Friday. Has gotten through 2 innings here, unscathed. 0-2, skips up there. We talked about Schaefer being a guy that has played 2 years at 2 different community colleges, 2 different roles with them too. 1-2. Blasted to center. Stevenson's got a beat on it, calls off McLean and right, and secures it for the first out in the 9th.
Another great opportunity for the Gatemen to close a game cleanly. And it seemed like an isolated incident at YD, but still. They can be a little bit more relaxed here. A 7-run cushion, but you just want to make sure you get out of this cleanly.
Here's Turner. 2 hits on the night. So in his freshman year, 2021 at Polk State, Schaefer, 21 games all out of the bullpen. 2022 South Florida State, 13 starts. Schaefer sees it high. And then this year for Coastal Carolina, made 3 starts.
Turner from South Alabama.
One of his longest outings of the year in the Conway Regional. 6 innings, 2 runs versus Duke. Also pitched 2 scoreless innings versus Ryder in the opening game. Blasts a fastball, pops the mid of Tommy Splane. Schaefer, a guy that's not going to throw awfully that hard. He's in the mid to high 80s. But deceptive delivery, good off-speed pitches, good control. That'll get you outs here. It'll get you outs anywhere. This one thuds on the press box. A flock of kids here at this ball game. A lot of them who have stuck around here for 2.5 hours in or about that. Here on the Gatemen Baseball Network alongside Aiden, Blanc, Jack Hunter here with you. 1-2 on the way. Slash, shortstop, over the head of Murillo. If Murillo was 2 inches taller, I think we'd be looking at a second out. But a valiant effort from Murillo, and it's a nice base hit for Will Turner. A bright spot tonight for Brewster, who has 3 hits. Now, in the box, Vincent Samini. You saw Samini last week, the Boston College Eagle. The righty, big leg kick and swings through for strike 1.
Are we not splitting that burger? You're taking the whole thing?
No, I'm taking it. I need to put on some weight, eh?
Okay.
Mary gave it to me. 0-1 pitch.
That's true. You must be her favorite. We'll have to let Amanda know.
She wasn't the one that said it.
I guess you're her favorite.
Samini had a slow game versus Wareham last week. 1 walk, 0-for-4. Pitch, fouled back to the screen.
Actually, really, Mike you might be Mike's favorite.
I'm everyone's favorite.
Thought about that.
What can you say? People pleaser.
Ah, they're the best.
One, 2 on the way. Samini, a big cut and a miss. Schaefer continuing to rock and roll. That's his 4th strikeout. 1 batter away. It'll be interesting to see who steps up to the plate here, and it'll be Joe Stella. Stella actually ended up replacing Irish in the last inning at first base. He's caught, played a little first base. Stella has had not a lot of run here. He's from Barry University, but he's 6 for 19 which clips to a .316 batting average. Replacing Irish here, now a righty facing Schaefer. Schaefer can really neutralize these righties with the changeup he has and the fastball that tails away. Once again, no broadcast for you tomorrow because the Gatemen will not be playing tomorrow. A nice off day.
Do you want to do a broadcast tomorrow?
Send you up here by yourself. First pitch.
I don't know.
Fastball out.
We're trying to figure out if there's American Legion or something tomorrow. I was going to go to Cool Cone. I got a sampling.
Misses the glove of Splane, moving to second now Turner.
Last home game, so 2 days ago, I got a sampling of their fried clams from our buddy Tom Crane, the player agent, and those were good. They were good. They were the real deal.
What's a fried clam taste like?
I mean, what's a fried?
I'm not from
All
around
right.
here, Aiden. You know that.
Now we know what we're doing tomorrow.
You're acting all fake surprised. 1-0. Outside. So we got Stella at the plate from Barry University. Schaefer on the mound. We got Will Turner hanging out at second base. Barry is in the Sunshine State Conference. Miami Shores. 1 for 2 with a double, his last action. It's been a few years with the Maine Black Bears in the America East Conference before transferring down to D2. And 1 strike away now from the Gatemen, picking up another victory, getting over 500. They're 6-6-2 right now. They're 5-2 at home, playing good baseball. I've not dropped one since Thursday. The 3-2. Called strike 3, and that's your ball game. The Gatemen ride the wave to another victory today, this time defeating the Brewster Whitecaps, and the first win of the Ryan Smythe, Jamie Shevchuk battle goes to the associate head coach at Keystone, Ryan Smythe.
He's undefeated against Jamie Shevchuk.
Here are the line scores for Brewster. 2 runs on 11
Terrific
hits
game.
and 1 error.
Last 3 games that the Gatemen have played at home. This one, Katuitt, Chatham, as we talked about earlier, none of them could have gone any better. They were all just about as perfect games as you could hope for. 9-2 tonight. Is that the most, or the least amount of runs the Gatemen have allowed all season? I can't think of anything less than 2.
Harwich.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Orleans, I believe, less than that as well. But a good showing tonight from the Gatemen. Final totals, Brewster 2 runs on 11 hits. Wareham 9 runs on 9 hits. So for Brewster, the same problem continues. They get the hits, but they can't get them in. Wareham efficient with the bats. 9 runs on 9 hits. A long ball from Landon Wallace. A great start from Coleman Picard here tonight, Aiden.
Yeah, Coleman Picard is going to be our player of the game. Just an absolutely terrific performance from him. And Faherty was good. I think he, they got to keep getting him out there. He'll work on those control issues. He's got the stuff. I think that's clear. Throwing up to 97 on the gun. And then, I mean, what else can you say at the end of the game? I mean, terrific game from Schaefer to close things out. He is more than deserving of the save.
Schaefer gets the save, 3 scoreless innings, allows 4 hits, leaves a few runners stranded. Amanda Foster is with the Gatemen Baseball Network Player of the Game. Happy Coleman Picard Day, and Amanda's with him right now.
All right, here with our Gatemen Baseball Network Player of the Game, Coleman Picard. And Coleman, you pitched 5 innings, had 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and you got the win. So what was working out there for you tonight?
I kind of just got in a groove with the catcher back there. I thought he called a really good game, and I was just able to kind of execute things as I went along. Kind of all 4 pitches we were able to work with, and it was just a good game overall.
And the offense came out and supported you. Landon Wallace had that 2-run home run. So how much confidence does that give you on the mound coming back out, knowing that you have the guys there behind your back?
Right, no, it's awesome. I mean, having them put up, I think it was 4 runs and before I got out of that game was super awesome. Helps you really just settle in, attack the strike zone with everything I had. So it was awesome.
And we talked before the game, you have family here. What does it mean to have them here for what is your final start with the Gatemen this summer?
So much. It's super cool. It's, they do a great job. They come out. I can hear them in the stands, and, they love it as much as I do. They take a lot of pride in everything I'm able to do out here. So I'm really appreciative they were able to come, and I love that they're here.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Coleman. Thank you, Amanda. Coleman Picard finishes his Gateman tenure. 14 innings pitched, just 3 runs allowed, 13 strikeouts. Pretty good.
Yeah, there's not much more to say than that. The numbers speak for themselves. And best of luck to him. He's going to go try to play professionally. He's going to be a special player for somebody, and we can't wait to watch him. We'll certainly be watching the rest of the summer and into next season. And, this is a good group. This is a good group of guys. You mentioned multiple times throughout the broadcast that this was a group where, everyone seemed to be having a good night, even the guys who weren't necessarily. And it's kind of hard not to be happy. This is now 4 straight games in which they've won points. 3 of those 4, they've won 2 points. 4 days getting, all but 1 point available, that's pretty good. And they're going to try to keep it going. This might be the worst point to have an off day, actually. You might want to go play tomorrow, but they are going to take the off day, hopefully get all rested, and then a fully rested group will come out and try to beat YD. That's got to be a revenge game, right?
Yeah.
You felt like you had that. You did have it. It's 5-1 in the 9th inning, and things, didn't go your way. Wednesday should be interesting. Wednesday should be a very fun game. And then Harwich, you win on Wednesday, you got 2 very, very good teams right up at the top of the standings going on Thursday in Harwich. That should be even better. And then Katuitt again on Friday. So the schedule doesn't get easier once you're out of the off day. And given that it's 4th of July weekend, we're expecting very long rides. Prepare yourself. Take every moment of the off day to prepare yourself for the next gauntlet of games.
Never an easy day in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Wareham tonight picks up the win, though. A strong outing by the pitching staff. Good work by the bats. They're now 7-6-2 on the season at 16 points. They're still going to be 4 points behind Katuitt, who's looking like they're going to hold on tonight. But the offense was spectacular as well. We talked about the second inning. 2 really big team at-bats with Sebastian Murillo, sac fly, Tommy Splane, RBI ground out to get those 2 runs in. And then Dorian Gonzalez in the 6th inning moved 2 runners over with a sac bunt down the third base line, and then had a sac fly the following inning to drive in or run. So you get the sense that these guys are starting to play for more than themselves and starting to play for the team, which in the Cape Cod Baseball League is big.
Yeah, and Sebastian Murillo, it's kind of hard to understate the performance he had. You mentioned he kind of had a slow start, but he's been flying so under the radar. He's been really, really good, and he was at the plate tonight. Continues to be very solid defensively. He's working his way to become the day-in, day-out shortstop. Everyone's getting reps, but he should be getting more than everybody else at this point because he is really, really playing good. You mentioned those first 2 at-bats. The second 2 at-bats, he doubled and was hit by a pitch, reached twice, scored a run. Great night for him. Hard to have a better night than that.
Let's wrap things up here in the press box at Spillane Field. Your final score, Wareham 9, Brewster 2. Wareham does it on 9 hits and 1 error. Brewster does it on 11 hits and 1 error. Our next broadcast is going to be Wednesday, so don't tune in tomorrow. We will not be here. The YD Red Sox come to town for a 6 p.m. first pitch. Our coverage starting at 5:40 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Want to thank everybody involved in the production today. Our producer, Rachel Manning, back there. Our other producer, Brandon Schenk, downstairs. Our fine friends at Wareham Community Television. My broadcast partner, Aiden Blanc. Our production assistant, Sebastian Spinelli. There we go. Give him some skin. We'll see you on Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. The Wareham Gatemen come home with another big win tonight. 9-2 over the Brewster Whitecaps. The Gatemen keep rolling. They're over 500 now. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.